的绚烂。有人说，职业选手1年的汗水与泪水都在失去全球总决赛资格的那一刻终结。但从今天起，这样的遗憾将不会重演。
军中无戏言，
不必等到太阳升起再忘掉一切，今年未尽的征途就在当下续写。8支棋差1超的战队，数十名热血难凉的少年，当然还有在他们背后默默抉择美味的教练。曾经，他们在峡谷拼搏，渴望着夺冠；后来，他们是各自赛区卖票的销冠，而如今，艰难匍匐的前行者们将再次集结，只为证明那一句话：5强6强也比再加强。这是一个荣耀与屈辱并存的手擂台，你想成为拿破仑中伦，还是沦为失败地中地？
巨难受，戴德刚摇起来了。
这是一场赢了也不能复活的复活赛，但输了真的会被淘汰。尽管不能给你一次此生仅有的机会，但亚洲邀请赛也是世界赛，让我们一起踏上这条未尽之路。
Welcome back, everybody, to the unofficial LPL English broadcast. As we're here for the penultimate day of the ASI 2025 tournament, featuring some of the best teams out of the APAC region Korea, and China. The best teams that did not make it to Worlds, of course. My name is Yanni. I am joined here by Bloxer. Bloxer, it's going to be a tough road for Weibo Gaming, as the first match of the day is going to see them take on BNK Fear X, and then beyond that, we don't know, but if they want to get to the end and win it all, they're going to have to go through the LCK.
Yeah, this is going to be the final hope, the final representative right here of the LPL. We've already had to say goodbye to JDG and to NIP. JDG bottomed out Group A, NIP third in their group, just above the Vikings. It's been a rough time for the LPL, but we've still got one hope remaining. Weibo Gaming, they were top of their group, you know, so they had at least a better time during Group A. But then, Nongshim, they knocked them around a bit.
Yeah, it was not ideal, and if that's the case, I worry for the potential prospects of Weibo Gaming today against BNK Fear X, who went undefeated in their group. But we'll see. You know what? This is a team that we've doubted a lot, that didn't exactly perform up to expectations throughout the year, but is still a team that has some incredibly good players, Bloxer, and we'll see if they're going to be able to knock off BNK Fear X, because they certainly boast a pretty solid roster themselves. If we can, let's go ahead and pull up these rosters here, starting off with Weibo Gaming, because, oh, we don't have rosters. I'm a dirty, dirty liar. We do not have rosters. Oh, we have rosters. Potentially. We might have a roster. We have concepts of a roster. Here we go. And
For them too.
yeah, and sometimes for the wrong reasons, right? It's been really rough throughout the year for them, where mid lane was kind of like a black hole of pressure in all the wrong ways. But then they started picking for Vikla a little bit, getting him comfort champions, putting him on utility picks, and things got a lot easier there. But the real guys to talk about over on that roster are really not only Raptor in the jungle, but Diablo. We've been beating the drum for him all tournament long. I mean, this young player is just so incredibly talented. He's won a couple MVPs that we think that may be a little unethical throughout the tournament, but he's been very, very good, and as advertised so far.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year coming out of the LCK, and for good reason. He's been absolutely excellent. The fact that he's been able to completely take over just in the 2v2 and bot lanes has been really impressive, but also it's just the way he's able to make his way through these team fights. He's been a really, really solid player for them. Has mainly been looking at things like the Lucian, the Kalista, so again, aggressive bot lane focused champions who are looking to win in their lane and then go spread the love elsewhere, but he's proven that he can also play the hyper carries, things like the Yanara, the Kai'Sa. All of those champions have been within his wheelhouse very easily. It's going to be a very interesting matchup between these bot lanes. I think bot lane is where we're going to be having to focus a lot of our attention, because I think Light and Crisp have also had a pretty decent year overall. You know, there's been some highs, there's been some lows, but it hasn't really been the bot lane that I've been looking at and going, right, this is the problem for Weibo.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one. I am worried, though, about the potential prospects down there, because Diablo and Kellen, they were beating up on some really good LCK bot lanes. I believe that they had the most 2v2 kills of any bot lane. Now, luckily, we've seen a couple of lane swaps go on here or there, so maybe we won't get the straight-up head-to-head. As we see, the Grasshopper of the Hour, Godguo, as he exits his cage, he's chilling. He seems very content for right now. Not really.
He's on the Weibo side.
He's poking his head out. He is on the Weibo side. Let's see if he remains on the Weibo side. Right now, you can confidently say that Weibo is going to win this series. Remember, Godguo is either correct or he is lying. He is never wrong.
And currently, he thinks Weibo are doing it, so the LPL, they're going to keep their hopes alive throughout this one. I absolutely love the Grasshopper. I mean, he's not necessarily been truthful to us a lot. There's been a decent amount of lying so far out of the Grasshopper, but when he's right, it's so fun.
Hey, listen, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta lie a little bit. It happens, right? You know, let's don't take that as gospel. Let's not start lying to everybody, but about situations like this, listen, sometimes you just have to be right. You have to lock in your 100% correct all the time, except when you don't want to be right. And Godglow has certainly shown us all that we can aspire to be just as good as him one day. The cardboard cutouts appear to be ready for draft blocks. The cardboard cutouts as we're getting into the draft. BFX going to start on the blue side. Weibo Gaming will be on the red side and already getting through a couple of picks and bans.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting off with a lot of what we were expecting to see, right? Nobody so far has been allowing this mid lane to go through. Vikla has just had this Azir taken off of him basically every single time. BFX, though, they have always responded with just grabbing him something comfortable as quickly as possible. They've been grabbing him the Ryze or the Orianna most of the time. The Orianna's a little bit easier to grab in these first games where it's just super safe. There's not so much that you can take into it that you're particularly worried about. Xiao hasn't really proven to us that he wants to play anything particularly aggressive into the mid lane, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the first pick we see.
Yep, he could always grab something nice for himself, waiting for this final ban. It's going to be Wukong getting taken off the board, so I'm going to take a parting shot at Raptor. All right, Orianna's open. The traditional picks for Vikla are open. Orianna is the pick. We'll see if Weibo wants to take away the Jarvan for the easy ball delivery system.
Yeah, that's one of those just best-in-class junglers that we've seen paired really well with the Orianna, obviously, but also it's just something that Tian can also play incredibly well. It's something he's played more than any other champion so far at this tournament and had a very high pick rate for him as well during the regular season. Right now, though, they're immediately going to slam this Kai'Sa. I'm surprised to see it this early on. It's been a really good pick here for Light. It's something he really enjoys playing, and it could indicate they're going to go for a full all-in kind of composition. Maybe grab something like the Vi if you want to here. Just lock in that you're going to be aggressive, but again, that does just give that Jarvan over, and the Jarvan can work very well alongside the Kai'Sa. Give us some fish in a barrel to shoot.
You're surprised by this? I'm not. This is just LPL Kai'Sa gets locked in, bro. Where have you been all year? Come on.
True.
You know, you always know that.
I've been seeing it a little more as an R3, right? I think it's usually
it has
better
come
to
in a
see
little bit
something.
later.
Yeah. I would prefer, personally, as an ADC, to have seen a little bit more of what my opponents are doing, but I guess there's also a little bit of a worry that Diable could grab something like the Kai'Sa for yourself, then you miss out on it, and you're right, the LPL just does Kai'Sa better.
Yes, sir, and the question is if Light will be able to live up to those expectations against the Wonder Kid 80 carry over on the other side. Since now going to be the lock-in coming through here for Raptor, so he's going to get his pick of a nice, strong jungler that's going to have plenty of utility, plenty of use throughout the game, and is a solid enough ball delivery system. Not exactly perfect, but good.
Yeah, it will work well enough, and it also does just make you think a little bit about what mid laners you want to grab as Weibo. Anything that can't get close enough to deal damage to the Xin Zhao once you have that Crescent Guard up can just be pretty unhelpful during these team fights. It will be the Renekton here locked in for clear, and so does Breathe just want to counter this right now that he knows his matchup. He's played some interesting stuff. I had a couple of the Rek'Sai top lane games which were interesting, so that's still possibly on the board for him. It's going to be Zhao who's Ryze locked in instead. That's fine into the Orianna. This mid lane, not exactly going to be somewhere we're going to have to spend a lot of time looking at during the early game.
Yeah, they're just going to hang out and kind of ping-pong waves back and forth. I am interested to see what Weibo support they're going to pick up, because being able to use the Realm Warp creatively as the game gets later and you're starting to Realm Warp maybe your jungler and your support in. Want to see a support that's going to be able to get into the middle of the team and really make a large impact. Second half of bans starting up here. It's going to be Azaya initially coming off the board. No surprise given the fact that you have the Jarvan already for Weibo.
And the fact that you don't want to be giving over the Xayah and the Rakan combo. The Rakan has been such a good pick for Kellen, has been his most played, his best champion overall that he's had basically throughout the entire year, so taking away that combo is going to be really nice. The Nico as well getting taken away. I do wonder if that's a ban on towards something, where you're trying to get very aggressive in this bottom lane potentially. We know that Diable and Kellen like to play this lane as a full fighting lane. The Lucian Kalista are both still up at the moment. Lucian does go away. That does leave you with the Kalista open. Kalista Renata could be something interesting if you want to get super aggressive early on.
Yeah, we'll see if he wants to opt into anything other than that. Ezreal is the champion that he's picked a heck of a whole lot. We'll see if they go over to that. I mean, you already have a lot of early power coming in with your Xin, with your Renekton. But maybe a little bit of like, hey, we'll spike on the second or third item of the game. Won't be so bad. We're going to see Cassante come through for Breathe into this Renekton. So going to be hard to move Breathe around provided he plays the early game right.
As long as he doesn't give away a couple of early kills, this should just be a nice rock that you've got. Very solid composition overall. I think you've got a lot of variability down into the support role as well.
Call out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was always going to be that as the bot lane duo. As soon as you didn't have the Lucian or the Xayah available to you, this was going to be the bot lane they wanted to play towards. It gives you so much power, and the fact that you've taken away the Nico means there's no way a Kai'Sa lane can ever compete. Kai'Sa Nico might have been able to step up a bit, try to fight back. Without it, there's absolutely no way this can happen. And now there's a lot on Crisp right here to find something that could just stop what's happening. Any of the engaged supports are fine in this situation. It will just help out in the overall team fights, but in terms of the 2v2 lanes, it would be very hard to play. Yeah, the only other thing you can do here is try to grab yourself a little bit of extra poke. It is going to be this Karma coming on through. It means that you won't get bullied around in this bot lane quite as hard.
I am a little bit surprised by the pick. I think Karma generally is, when you pair it with an AD carry who's not great in the poke department, it's not one of those lanes like the Varus or the Caitlyn or anything like that. It tends to really be lackluster. Sure, you're not going to, you shouldn't outright die in a 2v2 if it comes down to it, but you're certainly not going to be getting any advantages like you'd typically expect. Blocks are, I have to say, I'm really liking what BNK FearX have put together. I think that Weibo's composition requires a lot of scaling time out of this Kai'Sa, out of this Ryze, whereas, you know, BNK, they're like, hey, we want to go, right? We have one speed, one gear, but we're going to leverage our Xin. Our Orianna is going to have enough utility in the early game to be able to help us out, and we're going to have plenty of power coming through in our bot lane. These early objectives are going to be ones that Weibo are really not going to want to mess with.
No, and that's been a bit of a weakness for Weibo, is knowing when a good opportunity to fight is. They love to scrap. They're an LPL team, and so a team that has got a little bit of extra power coming through early on is going to be pretty risky. The fact that Vikla gets a champion he's very comfortable on, gets insulated into this middle lane, you're not going to push him around on this Ryze particularly, means that Raptor has a couple lanes he can focus on. I imagine he's most likely going to start up towards the top side of the map and move down. If we don't see this little bit of a swap coming through, there's a chance that Diable heads up towards the top lane, tries to get the matchup versus Breathe on the Cassante to see if you can have a freer lane early on. I don't even know that you have to in this situation because you do have so much power in the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm curious about that one too, Block. So we'll have to see how the things shake out on the Rift as we are headed onto the Rift for game one of this best of 3 series. Remember, the loser of this series is done for the tournament. The winner will move on to face Nongshim immediately after this match. And then, of course, that winner will be able to take on D plus Kia in the finals. Early on, we're seeing a lot of members over on the BFX side, up near that top side, putting out that scouting ward for any lane swaps.
Yeah, you do just want to see this one through. You really would like to just get yourself the sort of more standard lanes here as Weibo. Get yourself that scaling coming on through. You don't want to get pushed around too much early on. And so far, this is pretty much what we were expecting, right? A topside start from Raptor, make his way down towards the bottom lane, but he will be spotted out on a standard clear. I do wonder if Tian's going to try stick around and steal away a couple of these camps. If so, really nice read from him to recognize where it is Raptor's going to be wanting to move through his early clear and stop that from happening anywhere near as easily.
Alright, this first jungle move, as you mentioned, going to be very interesting. And it's really going to set the tone and the tempo for the rest of this game, I think, provided that anybody on either side is able to actually get any sort of advantage. I do wonder if Tien is going to elect to go do his Krugs and then sell out for maybe a bot lane gank. I think that might be a really good course of action, although it would come at some intense risk, we'll say.
Yeah. Absolutely, especially because you've now got your bottom lane kind of trying to push a little bit at the moment. This isn't an easy angle to try to gank from. Also, the Jarvan isn't the healthiest overall clearer. Should be able to get up a little bit more health if you want to go for some kind of play here. But no, with the push coming through early on, anything that you would have wanted to have happen bot lane early isn't going to come on through. But this is really nice right here from Tian. Actually going to go for a mid lane gank, potentially.
Well, there's ships passing in the night too. Raptors really just behind him. I think we're just waiting for Xiaohu to hit level 3. He finally got it, but Raptor already gets there. The flag and drag over the wall. Now it's a race for what side of the jungle you actually want. Tian's going to go into his, but Raptor, all right, he made a move to go there, but elects to sit in the mid lane here.
I mean, he can't not. If you just lose out on 2-3 quadrants of the jungle, you get put so far behind right here as Raptor that it's basically unplayable. So he is immediately going to head on up towards these chickens, try to take them out. And because of the push you've got in the mid lane right now from Vikla, it's going to be a little bit harder to fully just move over to this one. It should at least be the chicken stolen away. But do you get any of the buffs here as Raptor?
All right, Vikla is going to be able to have first move, but Xiaohu has a level up on Vikla right now, and Vikla now getting fully forced away. Xiaohu is out of mana, but one more auto attack should be able to kill him. He'll blind flash the shield. You need to get one more auto off. The Q does land. It's going to be first blood for Xiaohu. Meanwhile, Tien able to flash a wind becomes lightning, and a successful play for Weibo.
The recall is going to get through as well, I think. Wind becomes lightning. Yeah, shouldn't be up again. There we go. Well played right there from Weibo. Great recognition from Tian of exactly where Raptor wanted to start. They knew that he wanted to start topside so he could work his way bot lane, get his incredibly powerful, incredibly aggressive bot lane ahead. You steal away those bot side camps. Then you just go and match for match, and it just pulls Vikla out of position. We'd had some praise for the guy, right? Hey, he'd had a much better tournament than his overall year had shown, but unfortunately in that situation didn't recognize that being a level down meant he couldn't try move out of the wave. Just completely gets run down.
Yeah, that EXP soak that came in for Raptor is actually what kind of doomed Vikla here, because Vikla's like, hey, I'm going to have first move over. Then he realized, oh, wait, I'm a level down. I can't actually stay in this fight.
Yeah, I like the attempt at sneakiness right there from Vikla. Walk into the brush, then flash over the wall, make it so you get a couple extra steps away from Xiaohu, but he knows what's up. He's an old head at that one and is able to get that kill on through.
I do wonder if this means that Raptor will show up anytime soon. Speaking of junglers showing up, Tien is here. Raptor is a little late to this. Tien going to land the knock-up onto Diablo. One auto attack away from death. Will not find it, but they do find a barrier.
No, but that's still really nice right here from the Weibo bot lane. You're going to be forcing Diablo back when there's a big wave on the tower, even stopping these recalls from coming through, just delaying what's happening so much. Tien potentially looking for more.
Tien is just walking in, tried to lance him. The sidestep is there, so is the bailout. So Diablo's going to flash forward while he's still bailed out, but he's not bailed out anymore. He goes down, Light gets the kill. Raptor is going to flash right into the waiting arms of Xiaohu. It's a 2-for-1 for Weibo, and now we have an all-out on the top side to flash after clear. Will Breathe be able to actually run him down? Doesn't appear so.
No, and that is clear without ulti, so this is exactly the time you want to be getting as aggressive as possible. Do now need to be respectful though. Clear should be getting level 6 off of this wave, and you do not want to be fighting without your ulti into a Dominus up Renekton. Still, down in the bottom side of the map, it was very close actually to Tian being able to get away with that one and not even die, but luckily Zhao, who had worked his way down towards the bottom side of the map, like you said, getting a kill hand delivered into him. Now 2-0 right here on his rise.
Yep, great early start for one of the better mid laners to ever play the game. Let's call it what it is, although this year hasn't exactly been the greatest year for him. He still deserves his flowers and his plaudits for what he's done. It's his first year since 2020 where he didn't attend Worlds or MSI, and I mean, sometimes this year he was really not great, and other times it felt like the shining light on this team, and it felt like at any time, you know, he could re-find his form consistently. Maybe he would have been able to pull Weibo up by the bootstraps. But again, he's just showing at the very least that he cares about this international, and he has shown up for this one for sure.
Absolutely. He's been having a much better tournament, and now is looking to extend that lead. Going to pop the Realm Warp down, get Tian in.
All right, Diablo going to get rooted, knocked up, and Kellen's going to do some blocking, but I don't know if it's going to help. Diablo will bleed out under the turret after watching his support bite the dust. It's 2 more for Weibo.
And this is exactly what I want to see anytime I watch somebody pick up the Rise. Way too many times this year, we have watched people pick Rise or Talia or Galio and just never use their ultis effectively, never use it proactively, always in a defensive form. Oh no, I've been caught out mid lane, I'll just quickly Realm Warp away. No, I love to see Zhao who use that offensively, gets himself another kill, 3-0 now, put more kills into Light and help Tian with the ganking. You're already an effective ganking jungler right here as the Jarvan, but now you're going to be super effective when you're teleported straight into the backline. Brilliant proactive play so from a Weibo team that we expected to need to take this early game a bit slower.
And with Vikla going Catalyst, I think that Xiaohu was like, okay, man, like, if you want to go pick up these waves uncontested, I don't really care. I don't think he's actually worried about it at this point in time. And as long as he's making plays happen on the rest of the map, that is nothing but good news for Weibo, as they have a 1,300 gold lead right now, getting about to the 8-minute mark. As these grubs are up, Kellen has shown up to the top side. They did not initially see that ward on the sweep. I don't know if Raptor ended up seeing it when he was near the wall, but we're seeing a bit of a disconnect occur here. Crisp is in, I don't know where this man is. He is off on an adventure. Luckily, the wave is going to come in, so he'll be able to exit. Oh, okay, everything's fine. We lost things for a second here as the grubs have been started up by BFX. Tien moving closer, but again, they just determined, you know what? We don't have full control of this area. We'll cede it for right now. Trying to walk in, dodges the wind, becomes lightning, but he's going to get engaged on, stunned up, and everybody's there. The shockwave is not going to land. It was a good flash by Xiaohu. First grub will fall. Tien going to try to exit out the backside, but he's going to go right into the arms of Clear. Clear going to be able to get some good damage on him. Vikla on the way. Tien forced the flash away. Should be a 2-for-1 grub split, but I don't think Weibo want to give up on this play quite yet, Bloxer. Clear has a nice flank coming in here. Kellen is still only level 5. He doesn't have his ultimate now. We could see a potential turnaround as the teams are beginning to regroup. Teleport came in for Xiaohu. It ends up being BFX taking 2 out of 3, and now Tien's stuck in the pit. Cataclysm's got to go down. He instantly gets blown up, and now Weibo Gaming are in full retreat. A very ugly objective contest that BFX comes out on top of.
I mean, early for us to have everybody come and join up in the fight in the top side of the map. Nobody decides to sit and just clear away bottom lane as you would expect. And so it just turns into a big brawl. Clear as well, now potentially being dove.
Yep, and now teleports here. There's a big split over on the other side. Breathe and Xiaohu are off on their own in a 4v2 of their own. Xiaohu will fall. Are we going to see a kill on the Renekton? Clear is so low, but he's still alive somehow. He gets a shield.
Okay.
He'll go in and die to Breathe. Crisp flashes the wall, but the Fate's Call hits the knock up there. Crisp desperately trying to escape. He has no mana. He gets hand shook. GG, have a good one, buddy, as Diablo will get his first.
Oh, Yanni, that was a proper LPL team fight that was there. I don't know why Weibo decided to extend that one for anywhere near as long as they did. This composition at this point in the game is super effective at finding quick picks onto the side lane, but in terms of straight up 5v5 team fighting, that's not where they're going to be strongest. And this is such an odd dive. You have still seen that your opponents are around. They haven't all reset. They haven't all walked away. You know you're going to get collapsed upon in this situation. And so why Weibo decided to stick around for this song is kind of beyond me. Light's never able to fully connect. Vikla is just zoning him off. They're honestly lucky that Breeze's able to pick up the one kill that they are. And then the second that Chris gets hit by this handshake, you know that this one is over. I mean, the Rend, absolutely massive in this situation. And all of that early power, all of that early aggression that Weibo had done so well, just gets erased straight off of the map.
Not ideal, as they are now up just 200 to 300 gold, as opposed to the 1,000 gold or more that they had. Weibo ends up taking up their first dragon just about 20 seconds ago. Next one going to be coming up in about 4.5 minutes. And as we wait for some of these players to scale, I mean, the good news for Weibo Gaming is, they are even in gold at the 11-minute mark with a composition that scales quite well into a composition that has a Callista. So it's not all doom and gloom yet.
It could be worse. It definitely could be worse. It's just frustrating, when they manage to put themselves into such a good spot early on, and now you give so many kills back. Raptor gets pushed around in the early game, doesn't get to take anywhere near as many camps. 4 kills is going to go a hell of a long way towards plastering over that. Has now got himself that first item completed. He's going to be able to scrap way more effectively. First item's really come through pretty much across the board so far. We've got Rowers in the mid lane, as you would expect, and it will be that Kraken pickup for Light, so he's going to have a much better time taking out Clear and Raptor during these team fights.
Nice little power injection too, means that even in non-straight up team fights, if you happen to get a little skirmish, maybe a jungle gank comes through, you're still going to have a lot of that power. You can feel a little bit more confident that, hey, even though it is an early game Callista, we can make a play happen and potentially get a kill. You have 2.5 minutes until the Rift Herald is up, so I assume that's where we'll see the next bit of fighting happen. Bloxer, I do worry, though, for Weibo because the team fighting of FearX should be good, right?
Yes.
With this Shockwave, Vicla's just got to land it.
Exactly, and it's not just the Shockwave, right? The hostile takeover is such an amazing ability to be able to throw through, especially in a situation where maybe a couple of your teammates just got caught inside of a Jarvan Cataclysm. If you could just throw that ulti on over the top, stops your people from taking damage during that duration, then you can get away a little bit more. It can extend these teamfights out in a way that's very beneficial here for BFX. They're just going to have to play these teamfights out a little bit carefully, as you said. We've got to make sure they're landing these big ultis. For Weibo, they need to be very cognizant of this and potentially try for picks before these team fights happen, rather than trying to engage in these straight-up 5v5s.
Or they could do what we suggested earlier and just kind of drop these objectives, right? They already have one of the dragons, so they don't really need to be inclined to take any further dragon fights. And at that point, it's in the ball's in BFX's court, right? Where it's like, okay, do you want to just allow this Rise and allow this Kaisa to just farm up with impunity? So I do wonder if that might be the move that Weibo want to take. But again, as you mentioned earlier, they are a team in the LPL, one of the greatest leagues in the world that is known for fighting over absolutely nothing. So we could see them live up to that moniker.
Do they know what stopping is? I'm not so sure about that.
All gas, no brakes.
Exactly, and that's what we want to see. That's why we love the LPL. It doesn't always work against a little bit more LCK controlledness that you often do see. It's now going to be about 50 seconds until the Rift Herald is going to spawn. Could be a pretty interesting and juicy objective for these teams if they want it. A minute 30 until the next Drake as well. Weibo being able to Drake stack would be huge, right? If they can get control of the first couple, they can sack off a couple of the later Drakes to give them that extra time to scale up and hit those item breakpoints.
I'm worried what the next fight is going to bring because Kellen is going to have that hostile takeover. Remember, he didn't have it available for that earlier fight, but now one of the most powerful ultimate abilities, in my opinion, in the game.
Absolutely.
Can rear its head. I mean, this thing is... And the hitbox on it's weird sometimes. You know, if you accidentally stick your baby toe in it, you know, you're beating the tar out of your teammates, and you know they're getting mad at you, and you're like, oh, you should have taken cleanse this game. Luckily, Light took his cleanse, so if anybody else is doing auto attacks, it's not as threatening.
Yeah, you definitely want the cleanse. I mean, I've seen way too many situations in which a very fed ADC turns around and just domes their support halfway through. Breathe gonna get engaged upon by Clear, taking a good chunk of damage, obviously. K'Sante always quite the threat as well. Clear doesn't decide to pop the dominance and actually try for that overall fight. You've got a couple of extra members of BFX around this objective in the top side of the map. Although Tian is still here, and both of the top laners... Actually, no, Clear doesn't have teleport to come join up in a potential play.
Yeah, and if I'm Weibo Gaming, I'm like, hey, we should fight. You know, Breathe does have teleport available. He did stop his back, and we are seeing Clear start to take the long walk up. Herald has been started. As Light is trying to exude as much pressure as possible. Xiao coming through, but it looks like he'll walk through the lane, and there will be no Herald contest here.
No.
Or will there? Okay, there won't be. All right, I thought for a second. I saw Tien assumed the position and thought the worst. Weibo Gaming potentially in a spot to get sandwiched, but it looks like they'll attack the weak side properly here and walk themselves down for this dragon.
Yeah, but I mean, because they decided to go and spend a little bit of extra time waiting in the mid lane, they don't have full positioning around this objective. You do still have Clear beneath you. He's going to be able to push it in this wave. They might just try to collapse onto this Renekton as he rotates up.
All right, they're going to go try to sell out for this play. He's forced to flash away. Dragon has been started by BFX, but here comes Weibo. Breathe. Trying to link back up with his team. Clear has stuck around. Now Breathe is going to get the full brunt of what BFX has to offer, which really isn't a whole lot.
Stolen.
It got stolen away. The hostile takeover does end up hitting a couple of members here, but Xiaohu was able to escape over the wall, and now Light wants to cook. Breathes in the back of the pit, but Weibo seem non-committal here. Breathe is able to flash out of there, but a good secure by Tien.
Yep. Really nice, really nice. I thought there was a situation in which Raptor might have been able to fully take that one away, but no, it is going to be BFX start up the objective, and it is stolen away by Weibo, and it all comes off of the back of a really nice collapse onto Clear, making sure that Renekton wasn't full held dominant up into the backline, and it's well played from Weibo. I like the fact they showed restraint, didn't fling themselves into the pit for the Herald, instead just walked down towards the bottom side of the map and played this one out. You highlighted it perfectly, right? Breathe takes a ton of chunk damage early on, and you think, maybe he's not going to be able to go through, but Tian smites and Flacken drags his way in at the exact same time. Really nice timing from him to be able to get that one through. And Xiaohu, brilliant blast cone gaming. Oh my lord. If I'm Diablo, I'm so mad.
Yeah, and if I'm BFX, I'm pretty upset overall because there was a shockwave that did nothing in that fight. The hostile takeover, again, it was there, but it didn't really hit a lot of critical members. It really only hit Xiaohu. So you used 2 big cooldowns. You lost the dragon for it. You lost a top lane turret as well when Xiaohu went to teleport top and finish that one off. You're going to lose a mid lane turret as well, but we are going to see Herald get traded with a turret here up on the top side.
And we'll see if anybody's going to be able to get up towards the top side quickly enough to stop a second charge coming through from the Herald. It doesn't look like the answer is going to be yes in this situation. This might be 2 towers being taken down top lane for Vikla.
Yep. Nobody. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised nobody went for that.
No
I think
response. Oh my.
They had a thought that, hey, we could push down this mid lane, right? We can get Diablo very low. Hold on, Xiaohu gonna realm warp in, try to root up clear, do what he can. Tien showing up as well. This is just a raw dive with a cataclysm on top of it. Tien will be able to walk out.
Okay, it does work out in the end. They're going to be able to grab that bottom lane tower as well, so that's going to be 2 outer towers traded for an outer and an inner in the top lane. Although now they've kind of taken a bunch of resets all at the same time and left mid lane open. This is again some of these macro decisions from Weibo that weren't so great during the LPL season coming back to bite them as they lose out onto a ton of gold that they should have had control over.
Yeah, not exactly great. I mean, overall, in the end, it's 3 turrets for 3 turrets if you want to count Xiaohu's initial teleport getting that top one. But I mean, whenever you lose an inner, it's always tough. But it is on to Vikla, right? And Vikla hasn't really shown the ability to make a large impact in these fights. He's 0-1 and 4, but you know the 4 assists are largely fake, right? Orianna gives you a shield and gives you some resistances when you put the ball on any of the targets, so they do kind of just automatically count 4 assists at times. Of course, you're speeding people up with your command dissonance, so I imagine his damage numbers aren't really robust right now, but with the Horizon focus, that could change.
Yep. This is also very true. The 2-0 versus DK was really surprising as well, right? After you lose to JDG, you're like, oh no, Weibo cooked. And then they just take out DK, who are the team that are going to be sat in the finals. They had a very easy 2-0, 2-0 time through the upper bracket as well. So Weibo, they have shown that they know how to fight, they know how to play versus these LCK teams. And now up by just about 1,000 gold or so. They're not in a terrible spot. We're being quite harsh about this team, but that's because we know how good they can be, but we also know what kind of mistakes they can make.
Yep, and we've also seen them lose games that they really should not lose.
Yeah,
they could be cresting to the point in this game where they're firmly ahead. Remember, we talked about the scaling that they have. Xiaohu has his 2-item spike. He's got his fully stacked route. He's got his fully stacked tier item. We've got 2 items on light. And this is around the time that Kaisa can really start making an impact in these fights. You have that extra attack speed. You're rifling away. So if he gets the room, it could be problematic for BFX.
Yeah, very much, and it's also, you've kind of moved past the point at which Diablo was ever really going to be at that peak of power, and he's behind in items, hasn't been able to complete his second right here, so you are in a very good spot as Weibo to actually go for these fights. Now that you've got the Seraphs and Roa completed here for Xiaohu, he's not going to be dealing the most damage, but you've got a hell of a lot of extra safety built in right now, and again, it's just all focused around getting light into the best places in these team fights to be able to rip through the BFX members. Let's see if they find a good angle to be able to play this one out. With the Drake coming up in a couple seconds' time, that could be where they're looking. Although, actually, it's just a straight-up Atacon play.
This is, shotgun Atacon here. They decided, hey, we want in. Xiaohu teleported and realm warped his AD carry in. Clear is on foot, but is very slow as Crisp is trying to keep them all at bay. The Atacon is gone. Crisp is forced to flash, and just like that, Weibo are out of there.
I love that snap play. Again, more proactivity from Xiaohu, using the Realm Warp to just get people in quicker. You do sack off the Dragon for this. There's absolutely no way that you can then rotate back down towards this Drake, so you're not going to get Soul Point, but who cares? This is what I was talking about earlier on with picking up the first 2 Drakes. It means you can just ignore a couple of these next ones and not worry about giving away that massive power of the Mountain Soul. You're fine.
Very smart macro play after they previously had a bit of a silly macro play. As Xiao was forced to flash away. It's root on root, but the ball was no longer on clear. So there's no shockwave to be had. Raptor finds himself in a bit of a weird spot. He's going to go in on Crisp, forced to use his ultimate as well. Meanwhile, Tien is just off in the middle of nowhere in the enemy jungle, and he gets completely surrounded, and he's dead.
Yeah, that was just poor play right there from Tien. He was trying to potentially look for an in, but as soon as you end up with all of your teammates pulling back to try to fight onto the enemy, there's nothing you can do. He gets surrounded, as you said, and a very easy pickup. This is the Weibo experience. Brilliant decisions followed by the most boneheaded mistakes that you have ever witnessed from a team. There's a reason, right, that these other teams that weren't sent to Worlds, that were close, that were good but weren't great during their respective seasons, and you can really see some of that playing out in front of us.
I think a big reason why players at the highest level in teams are successful is due to consistency, right? You see them consistently do the right things, consistently make good plays, or even, you know, some of the teams that aren't at the very, very top, they consistently do things well, even with some problems, right? They just, most of the time, they're doing more good than bad.
Yep.
Weibo is a team that has just been right in the middle throughout the entire year, Bloxer. They have done so many good things where you're like, oh, wow, this was a really nice play by Weibo. They're turning the corner, and they've had many plays that make me go, like, what are we doing, brother?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
there was another one there. You didn't lose anything off of his death, right? It's not like, you know, it's the end of the world, but
it's still
just,
odd.
you know.
Yeah, why? Why are you in that situation? I mean, you've got to remember, right, this is the team that was on the wrong side of the IG can come back from everything narrative, where they're down by, what, 12,000 gold? They've completely won the game, and then all of a sudden, they just make a couple stupid decisions, IG fight their way back, and they end up losing a game that they had gold control over the entire time through. They are a very high variance team, and you need to clean those mistakes up at some point, but so far, you know, it hasn't come back to bite them too badly. You're absolutely right. They're still just about ahead. Tien, again, going to get jumped, but he's not anywhere near as surrounded this time.
Yeah, you say at some point, but after this match, who knows the way it's going to go? I mean, your next time might be the Masia Cup at the end of 2025, right? I mean, this could be the last time that we see Weibo for you know, a couple of months, right? And out of sight, out of mind is one of the worst things in League of Legends, right? You want to be one of these players that's being constantly talked about. You want to be one of these teams that's being constantly talked about. You're not going to get that because you're not going to Worlds, but Diablo is just going into melee range. Here we go, clear on a flank, looking for Breathe. Breathe going to be able to try to survive through this, but he's going to get rended shortly and taken down. And now they found the AD carry. Down you go, Light, and BFX are going to crack this game open.
And I don't think it matters if you're out of sight, out of mind right here for Diablo, because he has had a monster of a year and just makes himself known right there, stepping up. And I was like, is he sure he wants to step up by himself? Yes, absolutely. The team knows to follow him. Tien, again, trying to get in, is just going to get stopped straight up. This should be the Baron going on over to BFX, unless Tien's got a miracle to find. He does have Flash, though.
Well, he's also got Xiaohu trying to do his thing, but Clear gets on top of him. There's a redemption going down. Xiaohu is going to fall. Tien is going to fall. The Baron is going to fall. And the game could fall here. BFX and the play of their stud rookie Diablo could have just turned this game around. Let's watch the
Absolutely. Let's just watch what Diablo does here. He is fully stepping up, but he's in the knowledge that there's nothing really that you can do, right? Light, Breathe, Crisp, none of them have any instant CC that they can apply onto him that he needs to be particularly worried about. He's still got the bailout as well if he makes any big mistakes, and the full follow-up that means you get Light as well, plus the mid lane tier 2 tower. And then at this point, you're just scrambling to try and make a play happen. Tien's trying to get in. He's attempting to find a flank, and that leaves Xiaohu just a little bit overly exposed. And then watch this, watch this. Boom. Unfortunately, the Jarvan passive that you get that extra damage on that first auto attack against the champion, you never auto attack your allies. So that first auto attack against Xiaohu just rips straight through his health, and I mean, it's such an easy play at that point for BFX. What a great moment from their star rookie mid laner, as bot laner.
such a bold play. And now we can see more plays happening. Kellen in trouble. Diablo is stuck in the pit, but he hops out, and he's going to chase down Tien. Bailout is going to keep Kellen alive. Zhao Hu has gone golden. He's forced to flash away, but he's gone dead. Light is going to be able to get one back here. Now it's a 3v3. This Raptor looking for a continued chase. Vikla doing what he can to speed him up. Now we're going to look to target Breathe when Becomes Lightning does not land. But BFX should still have first priority on Dragon if they want it.
And that was just a little bit over-aggressive, right? This is the give and take that you have with Diablo. Sometimes he's excellent, and sometimes he steps just a little bit too far forwards. He's able to rip straight through clear. Straight through, but I mean, Breathe at that point is able to just keep stepping up a little bit further, pulls him on in. Let's have a look back at the way this one works, because the initial play is onto Diablo.
Yep, and we see Diablo gets stuck, but then he's able to just hop out easily. Light!
And Tian can't fight him. Yeah, really nice from Light to rip through clear right there. Keep that play alive. This from Diablo, he just steps a little bit too far forward. He also takes half of that Acathian Rain as well from Light, which is a lot of damage at this point in the game, especially with that Nashor's completed. So it's just well played from Weibo to fight that one back, but still 3 for 3.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem is Light is having a hard time stepping up. You saw it in that fight. I mean, Raptor was full HP, and I mean, you take a look at his items, he's very menacing, right? It's going to take a while to actually kill him. And if you're not well protected, if he's not CC'd, he's going to be able to kill Light. And if that happens, it's just a cascading domino effect that's going to really end the game. BFX were able to pick up that Dragon. It's their second of the game, the 4th overall, as they're looking to pick up the maximum amount of mountain dragons before a soul, if that's the route they want to take.
Absolutely. If they're able to grab that, that would go a heck of a long way towards keeping them alive a lot longer in the face of Light's damage. Clear, trying for a little bit of a flank right here. He's
got to
really
use
alone,
the Dominus. He did stun Light, which means they couldn't immediately turn around on him. Now the pressure is on. Weibo is on the wrong side of the map. They are inverted right now. So Diablo takes a big chunk there from Light, and these W's just getting good damage in. All right, Breathe is up on the top side. He's completely cut off from the rest of Weibo, as Tien is just going for the mega flank, and he's not around to help his team. Fate's call, not going to knock up Zhao Hu, but the handshake is there. The knock up 2 to interrupt the Realm Warp, and he is dead as well. Clear with a teleport for a bit of a flank here, looking for Crisp next. The stun is there, and Vikla and Clear should be able to take him out, and will. It is a 3-0 for BFX, as they have total control, Bloxer.
Yeah, Weibo, they just have a little bit too far forwards once again. Breathe getting caught out means that a lot of your tankiness on the front line just immediately goes away, and we never got to see Light open up during that fight. He wasn't able to get any big auto attacks off, wasn't getting the plasma. Now he's just going to go down right here. Raptor, one more auto attack should do it.
They finally found the combo, Bloxer, and that's what's going to put the exclamation point on this game. Raptor and Vikla finally linking up to be able to polish off the rest of Weibo. Breathe will be respawning. We have 10 seconds on Zhao Hu, 6 seconds on Crisp. The wave is here. They're immediately going to go after these structures. Here comes Crisp, as Breathe has no HP left. He has died. 1 turret remaining. It's Zhao Hu and Crisp desperately trying to do what they can, but Diablo is just so darn strong right now. Did not see that Callista's early effectiveness, but he was the one who really turned game 1 for BFX as they lead the series 1-0.
My oh my, I cannot believe the way that this game went in the end. Weibo, they have it in the palm of their hand in multiple situations, and they just keep making these odd mistakes where they step up a little bit too far, where they go for a dive top lane after a play that they'd already won, where they try to engage a little bit too much off the back of a grub take when they could have just had one, walked away, and been absolutely fine with it. Just a really odd set of decisions out of Weibo. We got to give credit to BFX. They were really nice there.
Yeah, it felt like once Weibo made that Otacon decision, all of their good macro decisions went out the window at that point. Yeah. They were like, that's our one.
Macro points.
That's our one. Yeah, they spent all their macro points. I really like it. They put it all into Otacon and none into anything else. But yeah, it just felt like BNK were like content to just kind of like, all right, guys, well, they outscaled us and we're not really finding a way in. But Diablo just said, he was the only one who recognized, guys, we can just go forward. I will just run at them. And the rest of the team didn't even really appear ready. You saw they started walking back at first. He's probably screaming in comms like, guys, please help me.
Let's go. Let's go. And hey, it worked out for them in the end. I really was impressed, not just with Diable, although he is always really fun to watch, but also by Raptor. I thought that was a great performance from him on the Xin Zhao. Was able to get really aggressive in a lot of situations. And look at this goal graph. You can take the teams out of the LPL, but you can't take the LPL out of the goal graph in any situation. Diable, massive damage right here. Raptor as well, able to do his work that he needed to. As you had predicted, that's not a lot of damage right here from the Orianna on Vikla, but he still did what he needed to do, hit the shockwaves when they had to come through.
Yeah, he started coming on strong near the end of the game, right? And Xiaohu wasn't really able to hit critical mass, so that's why you see it so close. Bloxer, I gotta ask, who do you think is the MVP? Because I think if you look traditional by the numbers, it's gotta be Raptor. But if you're watching that game and really saw the point in which the game turned on its head, it's gotta be this AD carry with that impressive just willingness to throw his body on the line.
I find it a little hard to give Diable the full MVP vote on my end, just because my expectations of this guy are so high, and he did make one or two mistakes where he stepped a little bit too far forwards, but you're absolutely right. He was the catalyst that made things happen in this game, and also, the MVP voting committee love this guy, so I think there's a great chance that he does end up picking up this MVP. I think it's not fully fair to just give it to him. I think that Raptor also was really nice, as we were saying. I think Clear also was able to get a lot done as well, able to just buy up a lot of space, a lot of time with this champion too, so I think there were a lot of good spots. I do think Diable's going to pick it up in the end.
One of those mistakes you saw there, he got a little too over-aggressive when the bailout wore off, but based on this early game, I mean, you would have been like, oh wow, look, Weibo with a really dominating win against the team that has a Kalista, and well, it ended up not shaking out that way, Bloxers. This play was questionable on many different levels here. Why did Clear go back in? Why did Clear look? Clear is out right here. He's gone. He lives, and then he just.
But why are Weibo there? But why are Weibo there, Vianney? Like, why are they there?
Oh yeah. Like, no doubt. You're absolutely right about that. I think you're right. And
baffling. So many baffling decisions.
Light waffled. He waffled too much over there. He did the 80 carry, step forward, step back. I can get in there, do some little bit of damage. I don't know if I want to do it a little bit. Well, don't worry. They did it for you and decided to just end your misery in game one.
Seeing the amount of damage that Tian did on that one auto attack onto Zhao, who just continues to be funny. This is another play where Diable makes a really good play right here, takes out Tian over on the backside of the fight, and then a little bit of a boneheaded decision, stepping way further forwards than he really needed to. Need to stick a little bit more to the right of that team fight alongside his teammates. Still, really, really impressive. And I love the willingness to go forwards. You have to have it with the Kalista. Of all of the champions, right? You can't sit back on this champion. You sit back on your laurels, it's not going to happen. But I think he was going above and beyond to just constantly find fights and engage fights himself, not waiting for any of his supports or his junglers to make it happen.
That handshake on the Realm Warp looked a little fishy. Is kind of the equivalent of like going for a handshake, but the other person goes for a pound. And it's like, you make it work anyway, right? And end up connecting and taking him out. And really, regardless, I don't think it had any large impact. That's just me complaining about skill shots and lollipopping. I mean, they were gonna lose that fight regardless. Pretty sure Xiaohu was gonna be dead regardless. The more and more I look at that replay, the more and more I think it's got to be Raptor. But again, if they gave it to Diable, I would be pretty okay with it based on the actual in-game actions. It ends up being Raptor, Bloxer, as you correctly predicted, an ethical MVP selection coming out here by the entire squads that vote on it. I don't actually know what the collective is. Do we call it the? Okay, it's casters, it's obs, and it's fan stuff. Okay, cool. Excellent. Okay, so that's good. Yep. All right.
Cool. 5 out of
exactly.
5.
5 out of 5. Really well done. Good stuff there by Raptor. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut away to a very short break because there's a bit of a rapid fire in between these games. But before we do, we must shout out our coffee supporters. If you would like to support the LPL English broadcast, consider becoming a coffee member. Coffee is the best way to support the LPL English project because a vast majority of your contributions will go directly to the show. A lot of the initial payments go to upgrading the broadcast, but a large bulk of it pays on-air talent and our content creators. If you subscribe to our Ko-fi, which will be linked in the chat, you can unlock perks like early access to content and the ability to ask interview questions for our unique on-site interviews. And with that, we are going to go ahead and take our break now. And when we return, it'll be game 2 between Weibo and BFX. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. Welcome back to the LPL English's coverage, the unofficial one, of course, of the ASI, as Weibo Gaming and BNK Fear X had a game that was back and forth for a while that really should have been a Weibo game, but as is, you know, Weibo, they fiesta a little bit too hard sometimes, Bloxer, and they fiested too close to the sun. It's BNK Fear X now lead the series 1-0. Remember, these are only best of threes. So if BNK Fear X win this next game, they will be moving on to face Nongshim which will be played immediately after this series with like, I don't know, I can't remember how long the actual break is, but it's not very long at all.
Like 10
enough
minutes?
time to, yeah, enough time to go like warm up some food in the microwave probably, and you know,
Yeah.
grab some water if that's what you're doing. I mean, no, I don't know if you're raiding the fridge for shredded cheese at 3 a.m. That could be a move
be
if
the
you're on the
angle.
West Coast.
Yeah, at least they're all in their own gaming houses. You know, there's not going to be a queue between multiple teams trying to use the microwave. That's something. But yeah, it's not a lot of time.
I
You
was
really
talking
wanna
about the
get this
people.
one over quick as bit.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about the players. I was talking about the people watching.
Okay. 3 a.m. fridge raiding at home. I think players probably also participate in raiding shredded trees straight out the fridge. I gotta be honest.
Is that a universal thing? I mean, I guess it would be, right?
Surely.
That's a good question. These are questions that I actually need to get answered. I'm
Yeah.
filing that away in the back pocket. I'm also filing away that first game out of Weibo because I don't know. This was you know,
It was a very
people have
Weibo
said
loss.
hey, this is a for fun tournament. Weibo definitely for fun this game a little too hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what they've done a lot, right? They've found themselves decent early leads, and they've been able to throw them away in a lot of situations. And so many of them, it's just odd decision-making. That top lane play specifically, I keep going back to it in my head. Why? Why do you make the decisions that you do, Weibo? You have already lost one of the grubs. You've had Tian flash over a wall. You've now lost Tian. He's now dead. So why have you walked back into top lane to try to make this play happen again? What are you doing?
You know why? We said it earlier, Bloxer. LPL teams, especially Weibo, have never met a fight that they did not like. Now,
Yeah.
the question is for BNK FearX, what's Vikla going to play? What are we going to see come out of the draft? Are we going to see him get focused down quite a bit here? Because, again, this Orianna not going to be available. It's been Fearless away, and some of his other picks have been like Talia, Azir, Rise, which is Fearless away. We're seeing the Azir get banned. So right now we're looking at a potential Talia, but with Weibo having first pick, they can always snatch that one up for themselves.
Yeah, Talia's now the final champion he's liked playing a lot. He's still got things like the Ahri and the Galio technically, so
Yeah.
there are champions available to him, but still, we are beginning to push his champion pool just that little bit extra. And in the previous game, you saw the Orianna, it wasn't the cleanest that you've ever seen. This is a potential lane that you could maybe do something with. I think Xiao Hu played a pretty decent game overall for his squad. He wasn't a major issue in a lot of their fights, just wasn't able to sit and pump the damage as he really needed to. For Weibo, you've got a very open first pick at the moment. They've been going a lot towards their top laners for first picks, but also Breathe has had a lot of interesting counter picks so far recently. I do wonder if you just go towards one of the more standard junglers at the moment, something like a Vi, maybe the Lee Sin even that people have been moving towards. It's going to be the Monkey. Makes sense. I really do like the Wukong here.
I agree with you, and this does mean that we need to be on Sivir watch for Weibo because those champions just pair so nicely together on the hunt. It's a great little pick-me-up for some champions that have very short-range ways to get in or no ways at all, so I'm sure Wukong would really appreciate that. It's going to be Rumble coming out here. It was banned in the first game, but this time Clear is going to be able to pick it up. His most played for the entire year, so we love the comfort. There will be no hot pot combo, though, so we'll see what it gets paired up with as a top jungle duo.
Yeah, I mean, the Kiana was also banned in the previous game, and that one has been left unlocked right here. If you want to get very aggressive as Raptor, that could be a potential fun pickup. I don't mind it alongside the Rumble either. Instead, going to pivot over towards the Vi, something that means you are going to need to be aggressive early on. We'll see what you pair it up with. I think Vi works best when you've got a couple of dive buddies for yourself, but a lot of those best dive buddy mid laners have now been taken off the board, either through bans or through Fearless. The Rumble, again, doesn't want to dive in with you so much, so what do you want to pair it up with in the mid lane?
Sending signals of an Ahri, you know, maybe even an Annie. I know that it's been a combo with a Vi Annie. You know, I really like Annie when you can kind of feed kills into a jungler that's really going to take big advantage of them. So I think if you just go Ahri, that'll be good enough. Meanwhile, the Lovers duo bot lane going to come through for the side of Weibo. That means there will be no Sivir, but no shortage of CC on the back line to buy time for TN to actually get back there.
I really like the Zyra Khan as well. It's such a good takeaway from Dabble and Kellen. Specifically Kellen, I mean, his Rakan has been incredibly strong. Now, do you decide to take yourself an ADC right here, potentially leave that support as a bit more of a counter? We've seen that relatively often. What else do you really want to counter with, though? Vikla hasn't really been a counter pick champion. No, he's just going to take that Talia that we were highlighting. That's some good map mobility. You can roam around the map alongside this Vi, but that's not something we've seen so much from BFX. Vikla doesn't like moving out of the mid lane so much during the early stages of the game.
Yeah, and not only that, you do have the Unraveled Earth that's going to really hamper Crisp. It's going to hamper Tien as well. Those Legos, you know, we always know when you're trying to dash through, you step on them. You ever try to dash on Legos, it hurts,
Ow.
my friend. It's always a bad
don't try
time.
that.
I cannot remember the last time in my life I stepped on a Lego, and I really hope that never ever happens again. I really have a reason for it to ever happen.
Young cousins,
Getting into the second half of
not
bans, we're seeing this Ahri get taken away. Ahri, still a champion that's often picked into Talia at times, which does surprise me. I really don't understand the deeper meaning of that when we, you know, just talked about putting that Unraveled Earth down. But so we're seeing a Lissandra ban. I'm very sad about that. I really enjoy Lissandra as a champion, and to see her not available this game really hurts my heart.
Nico also going to be taken away. Another one of those big ulti fun champions that we can tend to see quite often. You'd expect this to usually be an ADC pickup right here. Would usually be Kellen grabbing his champion. But, I mean, would you really want to give the counter pick over? This one is interesting. It's not usual that you see your bot laners left until the R4 and 5 slots.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think support counter is probably the move, right? 80 carry counter always feels weird no matter how good your 80 carry is. See what the options are, and instead, you're going to pick up the Alistar here. Now, Silas is available.
Open. Yeah, Silas is so open. And
there are some damn good ultimates to take.
Yeah, this feels like a Silas game of dreams right here for Weibo. If you're BFX, surely you recognize that. There's got to be some reason that you've left this one open. Come on, Weibo. Really? Okay. Instead, it is going to be
We're
the
so
LeBlanc.
unserious.
This is something that we have seen Xiaohu play before this tournament. It didn't work. It looked pretty bad overall, actually. So I'm not super confident in this one. I can't say that I love it. Ornn going to be the final lock-in, so a little bit of later game power, some extra fight potentially into the Rumble as well. This comp with a Silas in it, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is fun. Without the Silas, I'm not so sure about this one. We're going to need to see a hell of a game from Xiaohu to make this not stinky, to stop Yanni from making that face at this champion, which I totally agree with. So it's going to be Diable getting this final pickup for himself. In terms of champions he really likes that are left on the board, the Misfortune, the Yanara, no, okay, is just going to go for something aggressive with the Zeri. This is a very Diable champion.
Boxer, this gives me very, very much pick me whatever, let's just lose in peace vibes with this LeBlanc. However, I am a LeBlanc believer. I love LeBlanc. I'm happy to see it here, even though it's objectively not the best pick that you could do. I do worry that he's gonna distort himself into that Unraveled Earth and
have a terrible time.
Those micro stuns, they really mess with you on LeBlanc too, especially on a champion where you're just like, it's so muscle memory. You're just like, I go in, I know which keys to mash at what time, and any small interruption, and sometimes your brain goes like, huh? What happened? Oh, yes, I got stunned for 0.5 seconds, and now I'm actually just dead. Now the good news is there's not a lot of upfront damage to actually kill the LeBlanc early on. The bad news is as the game goes on, Talia, a champion that can front to back pretty effectively later in the game. Zeri, we already know some certified Zeri moments do occur across the world still, even though she's not what she once was. Still an incredible late game carry champion. I have to say, I think I like the BNK Fear X draft a little bit more than Weibo's Bloxer. I know earlier you were like, hey, this comp is fine except no Silas. As you see, Godguo there has switched sides. How dare you, betrayer?
How dare he? Honestly, so rude, but possibly fair. Yeah, I do agree. I think that Weibo, they've got some really solid bones to this composition, right? Some really strong front to back potential. And if Xiaohu is able to get a couple of kills early on and live in the backline and try to just constantly find Diable, take him out before a fight even starts, maybe even go for clear at some point, take him out before a fight even starts, there is a universe in which this Weibo composition really gets rolling and looks excellent. That being said, I think it does just feel a little bit empty with this LeBlanc in the mid lane.
You might be right about that, Bloxer. We will have to see as we're on Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of this best of 3 series with BFX already leading 1-0. Remember, the winner of this game will move on to face Nongshim after this match, and that will be played, shortly after. And the loser is done. Their year is done, and if you are Weibo Gaming, you're going to be done until Demacia Cup, I'm sure. And one thing that we really get to highlight here is Vikla in this game. He has a lot of responsibility on this Talia, you know, a champion that when you're able to roam around and use these Weaver walls so effectively, can have a large impact in the game, but also a guy that, you know, has struggled at times. This would be considered a utility pick, so we'll see if he's able to execute this time around.
Absolutely, and I gotta be honest, there's bits about this Fearix composition that I don't love either. When I'm thinking about dive buddies to work alongside the Vi, I don't usually think Zeri as the ideal dive buddy. You know, usually the Zeri with like a couple more people to really keep her safe. I would have really preferred this composition with something more like a Galio into the mid lane, but obviously that was banned away, and still, as you've been saying, right, the Unraveled Earth is really nice. It does stop a lot of what could be happening from the Weibo composition, but I think this is a pretty tricky composition overall to make work. You got to be careful with where you're laying down the red carpet. As Raptor, you've got to be finding the correct moments to go in. I think Kellen's going to have a really hard job on his hands to just keep a lot of these different pieces safe and trying to work through a lot of different levels of a team fight, right? If your Vi and your Zeri have dove into the backline, but then your Rumble and your Talia are getting jumped in their backline, who do you go save? Where are you trying to play around? A lot of difficult decisions, potentially.
Well, hopefully Kellen will be joining Raptor, and, you know, theoretically, if Clear is, you know, I think using his ultimate appropriately in this game, Rumble is like half of a dive buddy with that equalizer, right? I mean, it would count if you're hitting a couple of members. Now, all of a sudden, if you've got the Rumble equalizer and Raptor and Kellen back there, suddenly Diablo getting to the back line using that big lightning crash doesn't sound so far-fetched anymore, Bloxer.
It's totally possible, right? It just requires a little bit of careful execution, and we'll have to see, because BFX, they have shown us a really high level of execution so far in this tournament. Weibo, some high highs, some low lows, obviously, as expected. To start with the early game, both of these junglers started down towards the bottom side of the map, working their way up towards the top lanes, which is interesting. Not usually the lane you'd imagine that we'd get a lot of aggression into, especially as you can see these bot laners are already getting very close to each other. A little bit of a push up. Xiaohu going to spot out Raptor, who's having a bit of an odd angle for that attempted engage. Will just head down towards the bottom lane to grab that crab.
Yeah, I actually really like that move from Raptor, because you can tell that Xiaohu was starting to get really aggressive on Vikla early on, as Breathe is going to get chased down by Clear. This is very problematic because he's not overheating anymore. Tries to cook him, but that Null Magic Mantle putting in work for Breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that you already get that one through just really helps out. Otherwise, that totally could have been a solo kill. Now, Breathe going to go in. Brittle procs do a lot of damage, but Breathe also getting pretty low on mana.
Kellen down to about half HP. Going to go for a re-engage and good damage onto Crisp and Light. As we're getting a little bit of lane scrapping everywhere, and I really like that. I like that we're not seeing any of these convoluted swaps. As much as I enjoy unique ways of League of Legends, this bot lane matchup is one that I really wanted to see for myself, and so far they've really been able to shut down Diablo. In the first game he wasn't able to really make anything happen in the laning phase, and so far here in game 2 it's a little difficult. So we're going to see a knock-up and a root go down onto Kellen here. Kellen could find himself in a little bit of trouble. Does have the heal. We'll be able to keep it in the back pocket for now.
Yeah, is able to just push back away. You're absolutely right. Diablo is usually a 2v2 monster down in the bottom lane. You said it earlier, right? Loves getting these 2v2 kills, getting aggressive, and just hasn't been able to do so far. Constantly getting pushed back. I like how far forward Crisp keeps stepping. Kellen takes a huge chunk of damage right there. The wave is going to be pushed underneath the tower, and that could be a quick reset coming through from the Weibo bot lane. We pan up towards the top side of the map just to watch Raptor farming up onto his Krugs. Aren't really any lanes to go for yet. And so it seems like we're going to have just scraps in the individual lanes, but these junglers not looking to get involved until they hit their level 6s potentially.
Yeah, good conditions on both sides mean that whoever is able to kind of catch the other team by surprise first is going to be the one to put their team ahead. We're going to see Tiana walk on this ward, did not use that Scryer's Bloom. Already saw Clear kind of make a motion that made Tien think, yes, I am definitely on a ward right now. Stragon is up, and we're seeing some pings go down toward it. Raptor 1 camp away from 6. Tien should also be there. So we're going to see distortions on the side. There's the tether to the knock-up, and they're going to be able to find first blood onto Vikla.
Really well executed right there. We said we were probably going to have a wait until 6, but instead, Tian just brings Crisp. There's your knock-up without your ultimate, and really well executed to be able to pick up that initial kill. It goes over Tian. I would have preferred Xiaohu be able to grab it, but still, having it onto the Wukong isn't going to be anything bad at all. And that is nice to see. Xiaohu now going to try play it back into the top lane as well.
Call the Forge God is there. They've got plenty of damage for clear. That's Breathe getting one, and Xiaohu's been everywhere.
Exactly. Lovely play from him. I really like that. Gank into your lane unlocks you to go gank elsewhere. Still, you're going to have to try to get something back as BFX Raptor trying.
Oh, big double knock up there. Good patience, but Crisp was able to block.
Nice. Nice buffering right there on his
Oh, no,
entrance.
not again, bro. Oh, the Weaver's wall gets interrupted. They knock him right off. Xiaohu getting a good damage with a nice seismic shove. Vikla trying to get under his turret, but he dies again. And who's at the scene of the crime? It's Xiaohu once more.
And this is what we were talking about with this Weibo composition. It needed to get ahead early. You needed to unlock your LeBlanc on the rest of the map. Well, so far, a lot of the rest of the map has been coming to the LeBlanc. That's going to be 3 assists for Xiaohu, 2 kills onto Tian. So this Wukong is absolutely rolling at this point. We'll see what he's able to buy on his next reset, because he should be well on the way to picking up that first item. And the only place we haven't seen too much explosivity fully yet is the bot lane, but they're trying to change that.
And Kellen will heal. He's still in there as
Raptor.
Crisp is going to slide out. Raptor on a ward, so it's not going to be able to get much done. And, you know, with all of the questions about there being a potential Sylas pick, and we were kind of disappointed that we didn't see one, something that I had thought of in between games but didn't vocalize was, you know, if Vikla is going to pick these champions that are utility-based, seeing Xiaohu on an aggressive mid-lane champion, and, you know, it's paying off right here as we're seeing immediately Crisp go in and go out, but it's just buying some time. Good chunks going down as Diablo and Raptor getting lower and lower. Dragon, remember, it is the Cloud Dragon. It does a lot of damage. It is going to start resetting. See if Tien wants to find a way back in. He's got no flash. He's got no cyclone, so you are missing a lot here. Xiaohu going to distort over the wall. Just trying to get whatever chunk damage she can. Meanwhile, Tien off on the side. Crisp goes in, finds no knockup as this Dragon's now at 1,000 HP, but Tien is actually not close. The guy with your smite can't find a way in. Lightning Crash going down, looking for more damage. Smite secured. They're going to look for Xiaohu, and they throw everything they got at him, and they find him. And here we go. Big knockups abound. Light and Tien really need to fight this one out, but it's a double kill for Diablo. Here's that ultimate getting dropped by Light, but he falls too. It's another disaster around an objective for Weibo Gaming, and Diablo finds 3.
Triple kill right there for Diablo. And like you said, Weibo, they just step way too far into the pit right there. And Tian is just split away from the team the entire time. He can't find his way into the pit to even try to contest with the smite. Everybody else is all around it. And it's a great seismic shove found from Vikla that really kicks that team fight off for BFX. Excellently played, and they pump kills onto their main carry.
A Diablo debacle, as he now has the Yuntal Wild Arrows this early into the game. Take a look at the replay. Listen, when it's this low and Tien is this far away, just walk away, guys. What are we doing?
They don't understand how to walk away, right? This is a team who's going to strike out, or they're going to home run. And this is a strikeout. I
do not want to talk about baseball. Please stop. Slayer and I are still very upset.
Why do they not walk, though? This is the main question. If your jungler isn't involved, isn't able to walk into the pit right here, you can't just keep stepping up. And because of the split fight, it's so very easy for BFX to turn onto the individual components of the team rather than Weibo ever playing as a whole. And now, 3 kills straight into the back pocket of Diablo. He's going to be able to complete those Yungtal arrows. And this is now a composition that needed a little bit of time to get rolling, accelerated way too far ahead.
Oh, and by the way, he's got a call in the back pocket that's going to proc and adjust a little bit. As Godguo is close to the Weibo Gaming side, and he may be a liar. Remember, he is never wrong. But I must say, Godguo
he's fence-sitting right now.
Yeah, Godguo going for BFX at the start of this game makes me very upset at the deity that we have come to know and love through ASI. I am, call me an anime protagonist because I am trying to kill God right now.
The grasshopper does not believe, and unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
I might be agreeing right now. Xiaohu,
Yeah,
again, just
Xiaohu
going
was
to get
just
himself
dead.
caught out. Oh, good
He
flash.
flashed
Nice
away.
seismic
He got hit
shove.
with a seismic shove, but he's able to distort away. Crisp had got caught up, and he actually doesn't find a taunt on anybody other than Raptor. It's a very low impact quickness by virtue of Vikla.
And this is, again, Weibo just getting pushed around. This is something that has been really nice to see from BFX, where they just need the slightest, barest little hint of an advantage, and they will push it all the way through. They're able to just shove people off of this bot lane tower. This should result in a couple plates going over to Vikla as well. And this gold lead is just expanding out that much further to 1,000 gold at this point. Weibo, they're now going to try get a pick onto Clear.
All right, well, we're going to try it again. It worked before. Surely it'll work here, and the chains will get the job done. It's Xiaohu getting his first of the game.
And he tries at least to clear out that minion wave. It will stop him from losing too many tower platings in this situation. But still, look at what the play is from Weibo as well. They've now brought multiple members up into the top side. Xiaohu's going to keep pushing. They're trying to entice somebody in. Vikla, does he check the brush?
Well, it won't matter because they're going to turn on to Kellen here. They're going to force out his unbreakable will. Should be able to escape without too much of an issue otherwise. So now Vikla trying to clear out this ward TN, sliding over the wall. Cyclone is there. Here comes Crisp. You got to get close. Seismic shove is out. That means it's time to go. Vikla flashes away. Xiaohu still hasn't really found a way in, but he does have that double distortion, and he's able to find Kellen. But on the backside, look, it's Diablo, but he may have gone a little bit too deep without proper coverage. He's able to walk away. Vikla going to get bursted up by Xiaohu. It's his second kill of the game. Diablo is going to claim it. Now it's time for the AD carry of BFX to try to start cooking. Light dropping his ultimate. See if he's going to call back those feathers and be able to find the AD carry. He'll try to, won't be able to. Crisp flashing in, trying to do what he can, and he's successful, and Light's the one who takes the turret shot. A clean dive by Weibo, surprisingly.
Yeah, messy fight overall, odd set of plays, but in the end, Crisp, he lands that brilliant entrance to make it work. Weibo, they are playing on a knife's edge. They are dancing with danger constantly. Vikla now as well. Does he check this brush? He got away with it in the previous game. Okay, the full resets do come on through, and we'll take a look back at how this play starts out. It starts with them getting aggressive onto the support. They then turn back around to attempt to get onto Vikla. And watch Raptor right here. He tries to go in beforehand onto Xiaohu. Xiaohu's able to immediately get that kill, and then because he's already landed that ulti, he gets dragged quite far into the backline. He does pick up that initial kill, but that's now pulled Raptor way out of position, and you're just never able to fully open up as either Raptor or Diablo here.
Yeah, there was good patience there by Xiaohu, and he was able to use those distortions very well, and you can take a look at the rest of this dive. I mean, they're so close to dying. Crisp able to get out. And Light ended up being the one to tank up that turret shot. But now you have a dragon started up here by Fear X. Blocks. We don't have dragons on the overlay other than this first one here.
Yeah.
This is being secured. And now we have an Ocean Soul. Something is
Something
not quite right here.
wrong.
We are missing one. I was like, hang on, wait a minute.
The previous timer either. So
Yeah, I was like,
wasn't
that a Cloud Drake? Like I was worried for a second there.
And we'll just try to mentally keep track of
I'm just glad I'm not going crazy. I thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been insane if we'd have just had no movement on towards the Drakes whatsoever.
It would have been insane if we had one dragon at one time and then no dragons taken and the dragon just changed. Ooh, interesting. What if that was a mechanic?
What, if you wait long enough, it goes away?
And a new dragon comes through.
Another Cloud Drake would be taken. Despite the fact that's a good pick, 0 Cloud Drakes taken in solo queue going on.
But then then it slows your dragon stacking. But yeah, in solo queue, I mean, solo queue doesn't matter. You know, it's people fight over the objectives, but have no concept of why they're fighting over the objectives.
It's a fun thing to fight around. I like fighting. Sometimes it feels like the LPL is very similar to that mentality, and we might see it here. Herald going to be started up by Weibo, but they are getting collapsed upon here.
Weak side of the pincer, getting attacked here. Clear is going to get knocked up and is going to bite the dust once more. Will we see any potential re-engages? They decide probably not here. Don't always want to fight a 5v4 if you're BFX.
Ooh, okay, Xiaohu getting aggressive. Crisp again. They're really trying to just keep this play extended.
Oh, big knockup by Breathe. It found 3 members, and they say it's time to go. Seismic shove. They're going to be able to find 1, but it's Xiaohu and the rest of the squad that have plenty of damage. Now they're looking for a turnaround as Diablo manages to find Breathe. This guy is insane. I don't know how he found that angle, but he did.
Yo, my wrist hurts just thinking about trying to pilot the Zeri like this. Crazy plays from him so far. Salvaging what should have been an overall terrible play for BFX. Now Light kind of just underneath this tower by himself. I feel like Diable's still thinking about going in. He is, at least in the end, going to realize that that's probably a bad decision. And you said it perfectly, right? When you go for these collapses, you better make sure everybody's on the same page and can move in quickly. Otherwise, exactly this can happen. Clear immediately gets taken down. And this knockup, this double knockup from Breathe is just beautiful. It's just a little bit of over-aggression as people are stepping up trying to deal damage onto the diving in members. Boom. 3 members into the knockup. But from this moment on, just watch what Diable's doing, because he is pumping damage the entire time. He never stops moving this entire team fight.
Yeah, this looks overwhelmingly winning for Weibo Gaming, but somehow, some way, BFX are able to claim a couple of kills back. There was a great seismic shove by Vikla. He's, the Weaver's walls haven't really been what we expected, but in these fights, the seismic shoves have generally been pretty good. We're just going to need to see a little bit more come out of these laners for BFX if they want to win, because Clear has been low to no impact. He has been Clear this entire game. And Vikla, obviously, we're not going to see him get a lot of damage in, so it's the Diablo show for right now, and it could be for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. He has to pop off for this to be a winnable game right here for BFX. That, or you really need to lean into the fact that you've got good pick potential. If you go and use that Weaver's Wall over to a side lane, Raptor just pops the ulti onto somebody, you can take them out before these plays even really start, and that can be a way to get in, make these 4v5 team fights before they happen. Otherwise, you're absolutely right, Yanni. It's going to be Diable having to carry his team through. Now, it's not an unfamiliar position for the guy. He's done it a lot so far, but it is a lot of weight to be putting on some very young shoulders.
Doesn't matter. He's built for the moment. This guy has been so good. Rookie of the year in the LCK for good reason. Here comes the Weaver's Wall, and it is not well timed enough. That's tough, man. That is...
Yeah.
That's a Vikla Weaver's Wall if I've ever seen one, as Tien wants to drive it in because he said, hey, we can go in on the AD carry. We don't care that you're Rookie of the Year because this is a different league, baby. But here comes Raptor trying to salvage this play. Ultimate down on the Light. Equalizer's there. Tien burns away. Light unable to close out on the kill as Raptor will walk it out.
Raptor walking away with 43 HP. That is a single auto attack away from dying, and it does cost him his flash, but still, that's a couple of quick kills back for BFX. They are still showing that they can fight into this game, but still, Weibo, really well played to recognize, hey, we could just use this Rift Herald as an in tool. Diable, no flash, and now with no barrier, is going to be very vulnerable to these snap engages that Weibo have been so good at pulling out.
I liked the idea, but unfortunately for them, the rest of BFX descended quickly on to Weibo. Now, Weibo nursing a 1,300 gold lead. This dragon is up. It is the 3rd dragon of the game, not the 2nd. Keep that in mind. As BFX are going to look to start this one up here. Teleport coming in here for Xiaohu. Yeah, this dragon is just going to go the way of BFX. What are we actually going to get here for Weibo?
I mean, do you manage to push onto this tier 2 tower? I really don't think so. Hang on. Did that Drake just show up on the overlay?
It did. The first one is the only one that's not showing up.
Interesting.
Okay, we're waiting. Raptor electing not to go in. Didn't really have a good target. Here we go. This is where Breathe wants to be. Knockup is onto Raptor, and they're going to go and try and take him down. He is rooted, and he is
he's living.
Still alive somehow. He's still alive and long enough to make it a trade, and that's all without the BFX AD carry.
That's crazy that you're able to get all of that on through without having your main damage dealer. They're not even going to be able to fully finish off this mid lane tier 2 tower. That one's going to live for another day. And now you've got some time right here where you don't have Crisp. You don't have to be worried about these constant and entrances making it hard to play these fights. You can see BFX, they're just running on forwards. They want to go in.
Okay, Breathe. Able to dash out of there as he's taken down to about half HP. And BFX continuing to fight, and the threat of Diablo on this Zeri looming large over the game state.
Yeah, this is a very strong Zeri right now. You're still waiting a little bit, looking to work towards having that eye edge. I'd love to know how much gold Diablo has in inventory right now, to know just how close he is. That 3-item completed, Infinity Edge in inventory. Zeri is going to be so strong, already ripping through people. At that point, it's going to be almost impossible to stand in the face of him. Doesn't matter if you're as tanky as Breathe or as squishy as Light. All of these champions will fall. Tian, he might get caught around this objective. Okay, just that initial little bit of engage, not looking to over-aggress, are the members of BFX. Diablo coming back out of base. He has completed that 3rd item.
Oh boy, it's again, that threat looms large. His flash is up too, just in case he needs to get out of a sticky situation. It's Raptor on the backside, did get spotted out. He's going to target out Light. Light going to be forced to use his ultimate. So he's not going to have it up for this fight. Raptor getting chunked just a little bit, but it looks like these teams are ready to fight over the Otacon. Xiaohu, big burst onto Clear, who gets caught once again. The Equalizer not doing much, and here comes the call of the Forge God. It's going to single out Raptor, but here's the wraparound. They knock him up. Here's a problem. Diablo is caught. He's got nowhere to go. He flashes away, but he's exhausted. He cannot help his team. Weibo Gaming find the angle they're looking for. They find 4 members of BFX, and they're going to find themselves an Otacon.
That's only going to be able to walk away is Vikla. He's going to do his best to just clear through a little bit of this mid-wave. But BFX, they have got themselves onto the ropes right here. There is nothing that they are finding during these big 5v5 team fights. We'll have a look at the very start. I misspoke in our last show a couple days ago, Yanni, and said LVP when I didn't mean it. This time, I'm going to give out a real LVP. Clear has been nothing but a weight on his team during this game. Every single time, he's just getting caught out on the side lanes, isn't having these flanks come through. He barely even gets the equalizer down in a couple of these fights. This has been a rough game so far from the BFX top laner.
No impact whatsoever. Only a negative one. This is we're cresting toward the 23-minute mark. BFX, they do have a breath of life potentially on the horizon, as we now have the proper dragon showing. This is their soul point, and as we all know, Ocean Soul, incredibly powerful, no heal cut on the side of Weibo Gaming, and it does mean that, I mean, you saw in that one fight how long Raptor survived. Could you imagine an Ocean Soul up Vi in this game?
Yeah, that would be a huge boon to the chances of BFX being able to win this one out. They're only down by 3,000 gold. They are still in an okay spot in this game, as they're going to engage onto Breathe right here. I mean, he's pretty tanky still. Should go down quite quickly in the face of these 3 members. What you're trading for it right now is going to be a top lane tier 2. This is a perfectly reasonable trade for BFX.
Yeah, they're shoveling gold into their AD carry. He got the shutdown. A nice split up top between Xiaohu and Tian. Xiaohu has played a really fantastic game so far. He's got 10 stacks on his Death Note, the Ego Book, whatever you want to call it, Medjai's Soul Stealer. And a couple more stacks will really put him ahead in the AP department. Crypt Bloom also putting in a little bit of work as well. Not just the penetration, but that wide heal. Really doing a lot.
Absolutely, and you're going to need it, right? You're going to need to just keep everybody as healthy as possible through these fights, because the Diablo damage is so strong.
We're going all in on Tien here. He's caught out, and he is dead. That might be the angle that BFX were looking for. Teleport coming in. It's Breathe who gets re-engaged on. Remember, he is tanky. Call the Forge God coming through, and it's not going to be interrupted. The knockup's on the Raptor. He flashes away. Clear. Oh, zoning off 2 members. Zoning off Xiaohu. Zoning off Breathe. Knockups are around as Crisp is trying to save his top laner. His top laner's so damn low, and he goes down. Diablo, you're getting a little too big for your britches, son. He's taking a lot of damage between both turrets. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Vikla looking to take out Knight, and he does. Xiaohu could not kill the AD carry. This will buy room and time for BFX to claim the Ocean Soul.
There we go, much better team fight right there from Clear. Like you said, zoning a couple of members off, and then Diablo more than aggressive enough to just keep stepping on forwards. Even if he isn't able to grab as many kills as he would have wanted, he's still zoning the members of Weibo away, allowing for a couple more kills to go into the BFX pockets. And with this Ocean Soul coming on through, all of a sudden, BFX have got to be favourites to win this game. And all off the back of Tian, he's just completely unaware that he's walking over multiple wards right now, and that he's got multiple members of BFX in his jungle.
I thought this re-engage was really ambitious, Bloxer, but Raptor, they didn't have the damage to actually kill him. He's able to get over the wall, heal up quite a bit. And that was it from there, right? I mean, Breathe is far too low. Xiaohu really can't do much. I mean, Diablo just felt comfortable enough to go in between two turrets here in a scenario where if he dies, I mean, it's a little scary, but Vikla able to pick up the kill on the backside too.
And he nearly kills Xiaohu on an attempt to go in, and we were just highlighting how much damage Xiaohu has available to him. 10 stack Medjais during that fight, but he just isn't able to do enough to chunk through Diablo. Also,
now,
hang on.
It's a mountain for Weibo to climb.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm just looking at the summer spells as well. That's Diablo's flash has just come back up, so he was doing all of that without flash. Now he's got it available to him as well. He is in such a good position to be able to carry.
Yeah, he's picked up his defensive. That Immortal Shield Bow going to be what he opted into. His BFX are lying in wait. Vikla had shown. He will walk away. This Baron can be started at any time. Blue Trinket going to get used. Diablo is just going to clear out the wards and then now move back. Yep, here we go. Good vision toggles coming through here as it just shows that Weibo does not know anything about where BFX are now. They do know here. They're going to go in on Kellen, but Breathe is cut off. He flashes over the wall, but he gets hit with a seismic shove and taken down. So Raptor goes in, forces the ultimate out of light, goes out. Here we go. That's the last chance, the last gasp for Weibo Gaming for their 2025 perhaps, as Diablo finds a double kill. He won't find a fourth. He finds 3 overall. It is another huge win for BFX. Will they push? Will they Baron? It looks like it's Baron on the cards. Bloxer.
Oh, yeah, that should be the Baron going on over, and it feels like Weibo's chances of winning this game are dwindling away. Despite the fact that they had an impressive early game, they were ahead. They're in such a strong spot. Unfortunately, a couple of iffy mistakes, and BFX just fighting so effectively has left them fully pushed down in this game. And we'll have a look back at this one. This is Kellen getting very aggressive, and we talk about Vikla as not being the strongest player the whole way through, but this seismic shove is really nice. You try and think you've got over the wall? Nope. Get back here. And the second that the Ornn is dead, that's just so much power completely erased. There's one final attempt here. Crisp thinks maybe he can get the double dash in, but Diablo just about quick enough to get himself away.
And Xiaohu couldn't do anything in that fight. The only damage he was able to put down was onto Clear. He was a part of that initial engage that Kellen had on him. He had to distort and flash away. And the strongest member of Weibo Gaming in a critical fight was unable to make an impact. Feels like the story of the year. When you need him the most, Xiaohu was unable to get the job done at times.
Yeah.
Now he's sitting on nothing but a pretty record. 10 stacks on a Medjai's, and watching BFX have Baron, have Soul, and everything in their hands. And what might be Weibo's final game until Demacia Cup.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the small shining light right here for Weibo is that Breathe has hit level 15, so he's beginning to hand out these ornaments. You've got yourself that upgraded Lunas for Xiaohu. You've got yourself upgrades now onto light as well with that eye edge, so those are some big stat increases for Weibo. Will it be enough to be able to overcome the Ocean Soul, to overcome the fact that there's now Baron minions pouring into your base? I'm not so sure.
7k gold difference on the 80 carries. 5 item 80 carry. Light just picked up his third. This is just so impossible for Weibo to try to deal with. Diablo is just so damn strong. The Siege finally going to break the base. So the top inhibitor getting worked on here. The next wave is going to come in. Baron's still on for quite some time. Xiaohu going to go over through the side. Big burst damage coming out. Call the Forge God is there. And it's going to find a couple of members, but they're just too damn healthy, Bloxer. There's nothing that can be done to stop this Zeri and the rest of BFX rifling away in Breathe's face.
Yeah, this is just going to be a complete and utter disaster to end things out for Weibo. 1 kill back, alright, but still, you're on the wrong side of the map, and this is now going to be these Baron-empowered minions pouring in through. The first Nexus Tower will fall, the second soon to follow, and this should be done.
Recalls are there, but I believe that is all she wrote as Xiaohu shows up, leaves the fountain, dies to Diablo. BFX, a 2-0 victory. They will take on Nongshim next.
And, unfortunately, It is going to be an LCK tournament from here on out. We're going to get basically another look at what were the end of those season finals and the qualification matches that the LCK had through. The LPL has now been eliminated from this Asia International. Good job to Weibo for getting this far, but yeah, that was a bit of a disaster in the end.
It was Weibo versus the LCK. We did not like those odds. They did not get the job done.
No.
As FearX were able to claim the victory. I mean, this is something that are we really super surprised, Brian? Is the question, right? Because I mean, when you take a look at the way the group shook out, I mean, FearX was undefeated in their group. I do think that Weibo had the harder group, so I think it was a big question on whether or not, you know, hey, is Group B really fake?
Yes.
Given the fact that Nongshim had defeated Weibo 2-1. That Group B wasn't fake, and this just further confirmed the theory, Bloxers. It is all LCK teams, and now we get to see FearX versus Nongshim coming up next.
Yeah, it was very much a question of, hey, was it just the group making Diable and his squad around him look so good? No, is going to be the answer. Weibo get taken down, and remember, Weibo, the only team to beat any of the LCK teams that we've seen, the only team to beat that top dog that we've got.
Oh, and you know what? You know what's really upsetting? This means that Cubby will not have to do an early Shui. Remember the bet from far earlier in the year?
Yep.
Cubby said, and it's bookmarked. I have it bookmarked, and many others do. That if the LPL beats the LCK in a best of 5, he will do a Shui. And I told him, listen. Hey, watch out, watch out. Shui time might be coming on ASI. Shui time is not coming.
I still think we're going to watch Cubby do a Shui. I do. I believe that
I do too.
We're going to watch it happen.
I actually think that we will also, but I don't know
Not
when
now.
it's going to be. Do you think it's going to be in play-ins?
No. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'd love to hang my hat on IG, but no.
You know,
no,
you thought about it. You thought about it. I respect it.
I might be embarrassed that I thought about it for as many seconds as I did. What, like 2 whole seconds of thinking about it?
I think maybe you should be. I mean, no offense to IG, but I mean, it's T1, right? Like, it's going to be tough.
Losers bracket, not the final one. Losers bracket, semi-finals. I think that's where we watch a Shui happen.
Now,
before then, I don't know.
I do want to ask, is ASI a potential indicator of the strength of the region right now? Obviously, we're not talking about the top teams, and I think that there was a large divide between the top and the mid-tier teams in the LPL. Listen, this was not a serious question. I have prod in my ears. See ya. No, absolutely not.
look.
No, all right.
here's my 2 cents on this. I agree. I agree with what Alk is saying here. I think that the mid-pack of the LCK teams is just a lot better than the mid-pack of the LPL teams. I mean, hell,
I agree.
We sent JDG to this international. JDG have been horrible this split. This has been... I've not been a JDG enjoyer throughout the entirety of this split. To be honest, most of this year has been...
I don't think many others have.
No, absolutely. But I do think that the top of the LPL is comparable to at least some of the top of the LCK. Do I think it's probably LCK's year to win? I think so. I think they're going to be coming home with the World's Trophy, but I don't think it's going to be all the LPL are gone and it's just LCK towards the end. I think we've got some good chances. Our 3 fully qualified Worlds teams, I think I've got some faith in.
I cannot believe I'm about to say this publicly. I believe in top esports. I really do.
Yeah?
I actually have belief in top esports. I think they'll go and do very well. We didn't really have to talk about MVP Bloxer. We knew who was going to get MVP.
This is the most goal ethical difference, MVP.
a 8.7k gold difference? That is ridiculous.
He's doing so much with the gold that he's getting given. He did 43% of his team's damage as well. I mean, while we were chatting about different LPL things, and we will, because this is the last time we're going to see the LPL until Worlds, right? We've got to give him a little send-off. 07, my friends. Yeah, Diable is insane, and I'm so happy. If we have to have an LPL team knocked out, which we do, I'm so happy we get to see Diable play some more, because this guy is so exciting, and I think more people internationally need to know his name, because, hey, he isn't at Worlds this year. This may be the last Worlds he's not out for a while.
You know what? I really hope you're right because this guy has been very, very fun to watch, as you said. Let's go ahead and pull up the bracket as we do have a bracket update for you. As you're now seeing Weibo Gaming get 2-0'd by BNK Fear X. It is Nongshim Red Force versus BNK Fear X. Remember, this is going to be played pretty much now after a short break. This is a best of 3, but the finals, remember the winner of that match will play D plus Kia, as you can see our little pathway up top. That finals is a best of 5.
Interesting that we're still at best of 3 at this situation, but it makes sense, right? Starting a best of 5 right now.
Did we need a third game for this one? Did we
No.
really need a third game?
No.
Well, that should explain everything, Bloxer. That should explain as to why we didn't have that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna step away for our break. I'm probably gonna go raid the fridge for some shredded cheese, and when we return, we'll have BNK Fear X taking on Nongshim for the right to fight D plus Kia in the finals. We will see you in a few moments. Welcome back, everybody, to more ASI action here on the LPL official English broadcast. As we're now the unofficial LCK English broadcast, I guess, because we have Nongshim, Red Forest, and Fear X. We have nothing but LCK teams left here, as we have a rematch of the season play in the first qualification match where BNK Fear X, they 3-1 Nongshim. It's so funny because earlier in the year, Nongshim had gotten the better of BNK, but as the year went on, things just kind of shifted for both sides, and Nongshim have been really on a downward spiral. They need this tournament badly to just kind of like salvage how the end of their year went, as things just got progressively worse, and they have a lot to really get through here. Two teams that they were unable to beat even recently.
Absolutely, that's the thing, right? As much as they've had themselves a pretty impressive tournament so far, they've been able to play pretty well. BNK have definitely had their number. BNK 4X have just been all over Nongshim every single time they've played, and even if you win here today, like you said, you've still got to get through D+, who look like easily the strongest team that we've got here in this tournament. Very much the favourites to win. That game will obviously be played tomorrow, a full best of 5 for that one. This one only going to be a best of 3, so you've only got a couple of chances to make this one work. And every time we've watched these two squads face up against each other, BFX, they've been able to take it down pretty quickly.
You know, thinking of like, yes, we've got the best of 5 tomorrow. Then we have Monday where the Worlds video is going to drop. And then boom, we have Tuesday. We have T1 and IG. Like, this was a great tournament because now we're going to get a nice seamless transition. You know, the Worlds video not initially going to be released on Monday. We won't really harp on that too much. We know why. But it ends up being real smooth. I like the way this has gone. You know, I must say, like, everything else notwithstanding, I miss when the Worlds video was, like, in the song, was, like, earlier. I recall it being in, like, September at times.
Gets you so
I would literally be, like, just waiting, like, to the second, you know, because I work those days, you know, most of the time when they come out. To the second, just waiting on YouTube, ignoring the responsibilities of my job. Just like, World song. That's exactly how I'm
so hyped to see. I remember Rise coming out and being like, yo, this slaps. This slaps right here. I mean, it's not my favorite one. I think it's my second favorite one. What's your favorite World song?
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this.
Good lord.
I have some bad opinions today, apparently.
If you say Star Walking
is my favorite.
No! Bad! It's a bad song!
Let me explain. I attended that Worlds. Right. I was... Okay. And I attended a couple of days because it was... group stage was in New York. So I had gone a couple of times because it's not very far from me. So every time I heard that song every time I walked in, and you know they obviously played the song a lot, and it's got core memories attached to it. That's the reason why. I actually don't mind the song as a whole. You know, there's obviously that one point of the song that really doesn't feel like a World's anthem, but like, you know, I liked it. And he started walking like, yes, my goat. Thank you. Boo, I don't have the wrong opinion. Boo. Let's go.
You can say Lil Nas X all you want. He's great. The song sucks. Like, I like his other stuff. If you'd have had any of his other songs, slapped the world song title on it, you know, put some of the players in the background, awesome. Excellent song. Not that one. It's not happening. Absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Stop everything.
Much more important than us.
Where's he going?
I think he has to leave. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, is he? I have never personally seen him make an immediate about face. So it looks like BNK Fear X has been the selection from Godwo. As we all know, he only speaks correctness or lies. We'll see if that comes to pass here. Again, we expect BNK Fear X to at least have a leg up just because of the way things have gone recently for the teams. Obviously, early in the year, Nongshim had played up against BNK twice, had taken the set, I believe that was all the way back in the first few rounds of LCK. They had taken the set 2-0, but it was a way different game, a way different meta than what we have today. You know, way different team temperaments, everything like that. And in a world that is increasingly, what have you done for me lately? What we've had done lately was BNK Fear X defeat Nongshim, put them in that death spiral for their LPL season, I mean, it's got to be so crushing to know that you're going up against this team. It's your opportunity for revenge. And not only if you win, you can get revenge on D plus Kia, but if you don't get the job done here, it's going to leave you with a really bad taste in your mouth. Bloxer, picks and bans coming at you.
Absolutely, we're going to be jumping straight on into this one. So far, nothing too surprising coming on through. Everybody is just going to be trying to ban away Azir as much as possible. Surprising it's on the other side, but it's just such a strong pickup anyway. To be honest though, we are seeing FearX take away a lot of their favourite mid lane champions straight off of the board. They're clearly a little bit worried about Alex right here and what he's going to be able to do. For Nongshim, they've been taking quite a lot of early jungle pickups. Yeah, the Wukong being available means that's going to be high priority. Now you'd have to imagine either the Xin Zhao or the Jarvan are probably what you're going to be looking at.
Why not? Why not grab the hot pot? You know, we talk about it all the time. It's just because it's that damn good, right? I mean, it's a great combo to have, so why not pick it up? I really like the respect that BNK FearX is showing toward Calyx. You had mentioned it just a moment ago. I mean, you know, this guy is gone toe-to-toe with some really strong mids in the LCK, in his laning phase specifically. You know, a product of Nongshim that they can really be proud of for this guy to really make an impact. I'm not sure if I'd one-to-one say here he's there, Diablo, but I mean, hey, I don't think he's quite on that level yet, but hey, he could be with a little bit more time.
He's looking really good. He's been a very, very exciting part of this roster, and especially when Vikla is one of the weaker members overall, it makes sense that you're putting a little bit of priority on towards him. I think it's very interesting that we've seen that Nico picked up right here. This is clearly a sign of respect as well towards the bot lane of Nongshim, saying, hey, we don't think we could just completely overtake you with any old picks. We're going to grab a little bit of extra priority. I mean, we've seen it from FearX all the time, that they've left their bot lane until the last two picks. They don't think they're going to be able to do that here. Instead, they're going to slam them early on Nico Yanara, a real power lane that scales incredibly well as well. But you are now leaving your jungler and your mid laner until later on, a complete departure from what we've been seeing out of BFX previously.
And I really like Nongshim picking up that Corki early because you can still flex it. Obviously, it's kind of waned in popularity overall as a whole, but you know, just a champion that after a round of nerfs isn't really you know, best in slot like he used to be for a while. But I like it because it does give you that flexibility later on to just decide, hey, we want to check out of this pick, we'll send it in the bot lane, or hey, we want to really commit to this pick, we'll keep it in the mid lane for Calyx.
Absolutely. So moving on to the second round of bans, it will be a takeaway onto the Nautilus and onto the Vi. I have to imagine there'll be a couple more bans away onto these jungle champions. I do think taking away the Jarvan makes a lot of sense. You don't really want to get caught into that cage with these champions available to FearX, but at the same time, maybe they're looking to get something a little bit more aggressive. We have seen Raptor pull out things like the Lee Sin if you're looking to just have a full wig and a fling ourselves at you kind of composition.
Yep, and you know, there are still good options. Fury is even a champion he could select. I don't really think it's necessarily a good pick here, but you just, you know that you're going to get aggressiveness coming out of Raptor. We'll see if we have him on one of those power picks. Hey, who knows? Maybe even it's a Rumble jungle, right? You know, it's not good anymore, right? But maybe, who knows?
Why not pull something out, right? Anything is possible.
Let's not put that one away. That one can not show up.
It's something we were talking about in the Weibo JDG match, where the teams that you're going to lose to in odd situations are the ones who know you best, and these two teams do know each other incredibly well at this point, so you're getting really into the weeds. This is a lot less of just the standard pickups. Annie going to be the lock-in right here for Vikla. It's something that we talked about as a possible champion for him. Not something he's played so far in this tournament, but something he played a lot during the LCK regular season and play-ins and all of those different rounds that they had. Again, pretty standard, pretty safe on into the mid lane, and you're not expecting to get pushed around too much by whatever Calyx can grab. He has had a couple of very aggressive picks in his back pocket, has played things like the Akali, has even pulled out the Renekton mid. Like, he can play anything.
Well, it's going to be Galio coming through here. That'll be the mid lane pick, which means Jiwoo is going to be on this Corki. So we now await our support pick, but Bloxer, I am really curious as to see what BNK FearX is going to pull out in the jungle. I would imagine we'll see some sort of big carry, potentially a Kiana or something like that, but you know, all right, there we go. I'm happy. I'm so happy right now. I know Prod is molding right now. I know Oak Battery's molding. Elite support has been locked in for the hens. My goats.
There it is. there is the Jarvan that we were expecting. I think the Jarvan works so well in this composition for BFX. I'm very happy with what they've been able to grab for themselves. This is a very risky composition, right? There's a lot of squishy champions that are just looking to go in, deal their damage. For Nongshim, up until the Elise was locked in, and even with the Elise being locked in, I'm still kind of feeling it. Where the damage at, right? You've got some big tanky frontline members. Corki can certainly pump damage. The Elise will be dealing decent amounts, especially during the early laning phase. You know, Wukong does some, or a surprising amount, I guess, but it's all just like, oh, you're surprised by how much damage this champion does, rather than this damage, it hits. This is where we're at. This is what we're expecting the big plays to be coming from. I think there's a situation in which you allow BFX a little bit of an advantage early on. You don't get as tanky as you need to in some of these places, and you don't have the damage to deal back either.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's a scenario where it's like, oh, early game very heavily tilted toward FearX, and then mid game is like, okay, Nongshim has their advantages because they're thick enough and you're starting to get these item spikes, but then BFX later on in the game is like, okay, hey, we're ahead again because we have late game Yunara. Now, Yunara is a champion that has been tapped down, as Riot likes to use in their patch notes, quite a bit. And yeah, this lack of early damage, I do think it could be a big worry. Obviously, Galio's base damages are actually okay, so maybe Nongshim is a little bit stronger early game than you and I both suspect.
It is entirely possible, and if they do just try to play as quickly as they can, get really aggressive early on, I think this can work from Nongshim, right? You love, as an Elise, to get out of the lane, an excellent diving champion. If you can go and bring the Galio along as well, either into the top lane to try to push clear back. He had a pretty rough game for the majority of it the last time he played the Rumble. That's a potential lane you can try to play through.
These are very diveable lanes, Bloxer, so it's going to be on Lehens in this early game to make plays happen. Summoner's Rift, game one of this best of three between Nongshim and BFX. The winner will fight D plus Kia in the finals of the ASI in a best of 5.
Let's see it. For BFX, right? They have just come off the back of playing and beating Weibo. It was a quick 2-0, so at least they're not going to have a maximum of 6 games played today. Still, they could play the equivalent of a full series best of 5. And that is a lot to concentrate for. They did not get a long break between. As Nongshim, you were able to sit and watch previously, try to spot some tendencies potentially out of BFX. So this could be a little bit of a war of attrition between these two teams. We like both of the compositions. We think there's ways to play through. I personally prefer what BFX have for themselves. It's a very them comp in how aggressive it is and on how much it's putting on Diable to carry you through.
One thing that I've always wondered, if, you know, obviously it's not quantifiable, is like, what's the benefit that you have by coming in and already playing your series, right? You're already loose.
Yeah.
You're immediately ready to go. As
you're feeling good as well.
I've seen an Elise recall come out here for Lehens. Okay, yep.
Is he going to go straight to top side? Yep. Immediately heading up towards top side. We've been seeing a lot of these lane swaps, right? You're just trying to get yourself some slightly easier laning phases. But I think you're perfectly happy in this situation as BFX as well. You're allowing this Yunara and Nico to kind of just sit, farm up, not having too many worries. Yeah, you're ending up with Clear getting pushed quite far back, but I think that's less important. In the overall hierarchy of needs for BFX, getting Clear ahead is significantly lower than allowing Diable to just have a free early laning phase. You're also now going to unlock Helen as well to head towards the top side too and potentially try to make things happen up there. Both junglers moving in opposite directions. Gideon, he's going to be heading towards the top side of the map. This is what you need to do when you've got this lane swap on.
Lehens just waiting for things to wear off so he can walk himself up there. He is still level 1 right now, but will eventually get up in levels just a little bit. I do like that they are going to attempt to attack Clear early on because of how much he struggled. This is a good opportunity for Clear to right the wrongs that he had in his last game on the Rumble. We'll see if he's going to be able to do so. Lehens is going to come up and immediately miss a cocoon. It looks like me out there.
Just a little bit of pressure. Also took him a really long time to actually get up into that lane. Took a while just poking around, having a look. Raptor looking for a gank.
Okay, we're going to see Vikla take a little bit of damage, but Calyx is going to be able to get that phase rush and walk himself out of there. And so far, all is quiet. Well, now we have a true 2v2 on the top side, which I think does benefit BFX a lot.
Yeah, they're going to be perfectly happy with that, and then they're also happy with what's happening bot lane. Again, Diable just free farming up against this Ornn. This is going to be absolutely fine for him too. BFX, they're definitely getting the better side of this one. Cocoon does land decent damage onto Kellen.
Big damage onto Kellen as he is forced to flash away. He does have the heal still available. Diablo's going to get knocked up here. Big damage coming out from Kinging as his jungler is gone. Diablo's jungler is gone. Kinging with the solo bolo.
Yeah, so when I said that there's a surprising amount of damage that an Ornn can do, everybody
Surprise!
forgets champions as an assassin. Yep, that's really unfortunate for Diablo. He's got himself a free lane. You just have to be careful to not get yourself caught by that knock-up. Clearly, that's not what ended up happening. I have to imagine that a couple brittle procs came through as well. That can be the big damage too. To die pre-level 6 as well, that's really, really rough to see for Diablo.
The revenge of the Nongshim. It's their time. They want to knock off BFX real bad. At least Kingin does. It's like, yo, these guys have nothing on me. Former world champion. See if he's able to really make his mark on this Ornn in this game. As that was a very funny interaction. We just had our mid laners staring at each other after a stun and a taunt went down.
Yep, just, not looking for anything too much more. Oh, good stun again.
Ooh. Yeah, big damage. That's going to hurt. Scalix is going to have to walk out. He does have that flash. And okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that was shrewd.
Yep, love it from him. Knew that he still had that Shield of Durand up and available to just absorb that last little bit of damage, not flashing away there. Getting the flash out of Vikla is going to be massive, and as Vikla right now, you've got to be a little bit careful. Karlix does have enough damage to take you out. If you get that full rotation of spells off, it is going to force Vikla back to base. Still, BFX, they're going to be able to grab themselves this first Drake nice and easily. A Hextech as well, a brilliant individual Drake to be able to grab.
All right, well, hold on. Gideon might have something to say about it. Gideon's going to sneak in. He's going to try to steal this one. He's going to go right after Raptor. There will be no smite fight. Okay, wait. Raptor's going to walk back up. Who's going to secure it? And it's secured by Gideon. Here comes Lehen's flash cocoon onto the correct one, but it's not going to mean anything. Wow.
Okay, that's some big aggression right there that we weren't necessarily expecting. Raptor just has his opponent walk up, steal it away. I think part of that is because BFX didn't decide to send any other members over to him. He was left completely alone, and early on at this point in the game, with a Ruby Crystal and a Longsword in inventory, this Jarvan does not do a lot of damage to the Hextech Drake, and it just took way too long to fall.
Oh, here's Raptor. He's lying in wait. They're going to try to make a play, but Jiwoo is going to be able to Valkyrie away.
Okay. Early on, this game been pretty explosive despite the fact that we've only got one kill. Small gold advantage coming through for Nongshim because of being able to grab themselves that Drake and a couple little CS leads here and there as well. But overall, things have been moving slowly and steadily. Gotta be honest, you are not too bad about this one as Nongshim. You're trying to get yourself up to that first couple of items, then you really want to press your power forwards, but up until this moment, 7 minutes into the game, they have been able to weather the storm and not get themselves caught out in any silly situations.
Yeah, just the one problem is this Elise pick is not having its intended effectiveness so far, right? I mean, showed up a couple of places and a couple of okay cocoons, but really nothing more. You got Kellen's flash earlier. That's going to come back up shortly. You really need to start notching some kills and or assists to really maximize its effectiveness. Perhaps in 40 seconds at these grubs is where we could see Lehens go and make a play for Nongshim.
Absolutely possible still. You would have liked to have seen it pop off earlier on. You're absolutely correct. Because in terms of these big straight up 5v5 team fights, Kellen should be far more effective than an Elise could ever hope to be, no matter how many kills you have. Still, the big team fights are going to be very interesting back and forth. There's a lot of multi-man CC abilities for Nongshim. There's a lot of multi-man CC abilities for BFX as well. And so who has early positioning around these objectives is going to be critical. The battle over the vision is something we're going to have to track very closely.
Looks like most of Nongshim is already in position in the river. However, BFX does have a lot of members around, 4 members apiece on each top side, clear and kinging without teleport. So this will be a 4v4 unless one of them started walking about 15 seconds ago. Gideon's going to secure the first one. It doesn't really look like BFX is overly interested in going for even one of them.
Interesting that they are just going to let this happen to them. I mean, they don't really face a composition with massive pushing potential. There's not some huge split pushing threat that you're now giving 3 grubs over to. And you are also just a little bit weaker overall at this point in the game trying to go for this fight. So I like the fact that they step back, allow this one to happen, don't feel the need to go and fight. This is how you can tell that we've knocked all the LPL teams out.
There's an equalizer, but it's not really going to do anything. As here we go. We may have found Diablo. Diablo going to be in a lot of trouble. A lot of damage coming out, and there we go. we see Lehens make his mark as Jiwoo is going to get his first of the game.
Can I make a semi-serious prediction for you right now?
Sure.
I predict that Diablo is going to win MVP this game. Despite the fact that this has been a pretty rough early game,
This is
I
a
just
bold
feel like
proclamation.
this guy's so cool at being able to pull back from what looks like a massive...
Oh,
no.
it's the unstoppable on the flag and drag. Kingen plays that one beautifully.
Yo, that's so nice right there. I mean, the way the King is able to just escape from that is really nice, well buffered through. And this is now just going to be him quickly taking away this wave. Unlikely that any full dive is going to happen. He knows that he's got Gideon on the way as well. Have a look back at what happened top lane. Right. Doesn't realize that Lehens is
so
still in
easy.
that brush. So easy, yeah. That's just cocky, right? That's Diablo thinking he can step up, not really checking where people are on the map, not expecting there to be an Elise in the bush. I mean, if you miss that cocoon, right, then you wouldn't be playing at this level. Very easy pickup.
We take those. As right now, Nongshim winning this early game out pretty well here. Gorgie is going to be flashless, so could be something for BFX to consider as we're really waiting for them to make their impact. Now, remember, they do have the Rumble Jarvan combo. They have a Pop Blossom once Kellen hits level 6. They're going to have Tibbers as well. I mean, there is a lot of splash for BFX if they're able to really land their minimal CC in a fight. They can really go crazy.
Absolutely. They are in a spot to just kind of wait out these early plays, weather the storm that they are facing a little bit, and then come back quite strong. I mean, that's also something that BFX has been very good at throughout the entirety of this tournament, right? Sometimes you get 50 minutes into the game, you're like, wow, kind of looks like they're losing. And then all of a sudden they find that one snap engage, that one excellent team fight, Dabble pops off, Vikla hits a big shockwave or something, and things can turn around. Still, you don't want to give away too many of these objectives. Giving over an early Ocean as an individual Drake, also pretty rough.
Walls are closing in here. Kellen with a good root onto 2 members. Jiwoo going to take a lot of damage here, but is still above half HP. They're going to look for Lehens. Teleport came in as Kingen is ready to use that. Call the Forge God. Forces a flash away. Doesn't get the knockup. Over on the backside, Gideon with knockups coming through. Raptor able to flag and drag out as they turn it around on Lehens and take him out. Kellen gets credit for that kill. Here comes Galio, trying to buy some spaces. BFX are in hot pursuit. Diablos uses ultimate big 3-man knockup as they look for the turnaround. Taunt onto 2. Big damage, but Diablos able to find 1, and he's healthy. And they're going to be able to take down Gideon. Kingen will fall next. It's a double kill for Diablo. Blocks her. Oh my goodness, you could be a prophet.
I just have that feeling, right? Diablo on a champion like the Yanara is so good at popping back off. But gotta say, he was late as to that fight. He was heading back to base to go grab that Kraken Slayer, and that's the critical difference. Look in the base right now. Yanara, Diablo, walking out. So all of this is happening without your newly Kraken Slayered up ADC. And this initial play is just so split. Kingen goes forwards because of course he does. He thinks he's potentially got a catch onto multiple members. Misses the last little bit of knockup. And Vikla just dumps damage over onto the support. Yeah, you don't usually want to full kill the support. But in this case, versus an Elise, perfect. And it's also just buying time for Diablo to get here. There was a moment where, you know, it felt a little bit risky. This is a good knock-up into Flash Taunt, but it doesn't matter. There's not enough damage. It's a little bit too late for the members, for Gideon specifically, to get back into this one. Diablo's able to open up, and yeah, 2 kills for him.
It's one of those plays where you baited your team because you made such a nice individual play there. Yeah. Kingen with that huge knockup made Nongshim say, hey, we can win this fight. No, you cannot. It was not meant to be there. Now BFX are firmly ahead. Yeah, they're down 2 dragons, but they've got a 1,300 gold lead. Herald coming up in about 2 minutes. Unara has a lot of gold. 1.5 items starting to get ahead.
And that was also a full 1,000 gold swing as well. Diablo was down by 500 in comparison to Ju, so it's nice for him to be able to pull himself back into this game, as these first items pretty much coming on through. It's going to be a Kanik for Kingen, so he is clearly very worried about the matchup versus Clear and Vikla. That does mean he's going to be pretty vulnerable to Diablo once we get into these big team fights once again. The next one, probably not for another minute or 2. We've got the Rift Herald spawning up in a minute 30 seconds time, and we've seen multiple times actually where the first team to these objectives gets bullied off of it quite badly.
We'll see if that continues. It might be very hard if BFX get there first, right? Because their ultimates are just so powerful when they control space. It might be difficult for Nongshim to really force them away. We'll have to see how this develops. 1 more minute until this Herald is up. We're seeing a lot of vision getting placed on the top side of the map from both teams. So well aware of who is where. Is Raptor on a ward right now? They know, hey, jungler's on the bot side. Let's try to do something up top.
And they've got a couple of pings going on, but Clear is, well, was recalling, has actually decided to cancel out onto that one. We'll see if he ends up regretting that decision. Is going to spot out Gideon onto the ward and turn tail and run. Still, that does leave you with quite a lot of damage onto this tower, potentially. With all 3 grubs grabbed by Nongshim, they're going to be able to just rip straight through this one and grab themselves that first tower of the game. That's also going to secure Nongshim the feats of warfare as well.
Well done on their part. A nice move. You don't really lose anything for it, but this does mean that you are getting chased out of the area first. Gideon is already taking a little bit of damage. It's nothing to be too worried about, but it could certainly be a differentiating factor. Raptor is a level up, and they are pinging. It's Gideon starting to maybe get worried as Vikla is going to walk up, but he ults the clone.
Oy, oy, oy. Well,
Blue buff secured.
True.
Worth.
Big. Raptor and Vikla are now going to have blue buff. Exactly. Thank you, Yanni. I was looking for something good to say about that one, and yeah, correct.
I got you, bro.
On the secure. It's all good. Yeah, it happens. Still, Nongshim, they are getting bullied around a little bit, right? Not able to pick themselves up these objectives, getting pushed back. They are going to be able to start up this Rift Herald, though, and with resets coming through from Raptor, from Diablo, everybody heading on back to base, right? It looks like it's just going to be a full reset out of BFX. They have shown a lot of restraint throughout this game. They have let quite a few objectives go. All 3 of the grubs, the Herald as well now. That's part of the reason why they've lost out onto that feat of warfare. We'll see if that comes back to bite them later on.
Yeah, they are 0 for objectives right now, but I think they've determined, hey, it's time to break the dragon stacking, so they're going to head down there first. Tibbers should be up shortly. Remember, it's got a pretty low duration when Tibbers himself expires. So Vikla will be ready with this flash in 8 seconds to go make a play, but this dragon has already been started. Calyx is going to TP into the mid lane. We're going to see Herald come down for Nongshim, but this dragon is not low, so maybe it's their opportunity to get in here. Lehens is going to hop in the robot, get this crash off.
Oh, Lehens.
He's going to get rooted,
okay,
but he's well shielded. Good damage down to having
oh,
Kelly getting in there. Pop Blossom lands onto 2. There's the Cataclysm. Lehens dies, and now Diablo is free hitting on multiple members. He will get knocked up, but nobody's on him yet, so he's still chasing him down. Here's Clear getting in there. He's overheated, doing a ton of damage. Diablo getting very low, but he's able to dash out and survive after killing the Corki. Does Clear want anything more? It looks like he's going to play it safe. Blast Cone away, 3 for 2 in favor of BFX.
And BFX get to snap engage right there really nicely. Gellin absolutely beautiful with the Pop Blossom. Flash Pop Blossom, one of those engage tools that just is so fun to watch. And it all comes off the back of what always felt like a bit of a risky engage, right? Lehens going in on the Rift Herald. It's very predictable where you're going to come back out from it. And at this point, he's already so low. Yes, he's able to dodge away from that initial bit of damage because of the repel, but Diablo says absolutely not. Flashes on forwards. And as with all team fights, right, just watch as Diablo makes his way through this one. Every single time he gets a little bit caught out, he doesn't care. He keeps going forwards the whole time. He is playing on a knife's edge.
It's another nice individual play by... Oh, hang on. Wait, the bug got squashed immediately, and BFX come roaring out the gate, finding 2 more. Those both onto Kellen, and now the dragon is theirs with impunity.
So, Yanni, when you were excited for the Elise support, were you expecting this kind of Elise support?
I was not expecting this Elise to go hop in the Rift Herald and immediately die.
Yeah, this has been unfortunate. I think part of this is because of the lane swap. Part of the reason that the Elise is so strong is because of what you can do in the 2v2 in the bot lane.
Yeah.
Get a ton of dives off. But you decide to lane swap out to give yourself a slightly easier Corki matchup. Fine. I can understand that, but then why have you got the Elise? It's just a little bit of an odd decision-making here, and yeah, this is going to be Gideon dying.
Oh, Gideon's dead.
Yeah,
this is falling apart for Nongshim. I mean, they were ahead, but they have lost the plot. Diablo is 5-2-4, You know, I love your release point. I think you're so right. I mean, this champion is objectively at level 1 very weak, right? Because if you're not going Cocoon and you're starting your Q, you don't have any setup. Level 2 is where she gets a little bit more of her damage, right? You know, obviously you can land the Q, hop into spider form, land the venomous bite. But the longer you delay that, the higher level that your opponents get, the more health that they get, the harder it is to actually chunk them out and do enough to actually get kills. And we saw, you know, the one play happen up top, but that's it. That's the only impact that Lehens has had.
Yeah, and this is really unfortunate whenever you pick up the Elise. If you don't get far enough ahead, what do you really give? This is the problem Elise jungle and Elise support run into. If you fall behind, you are very squishy. As you said, Squish the Bug becomes a pretty easy game to play for BFX, and you don't give anywhere near as much as just a general standard engaged support would. A Nautilus will always have a hook to give. Yes, you've always got a Cocoon, but is that really going to be big enough?
Oh,
boy.
getting engaged
again.
on. He's not going to be able to slide out of there. He is going to die. It is Kellen getting another kill. It's this Elise dying. All right. Oh, hold on. Jiwoo. All right. He's able to Valkyrie away. I would like to make a public apology. I'm going to make it a public apology to Alk Battery because I inted him about as hard as Lehens is doing right now for his team the other day in a flex queue game. I'd like to make an apology to my 80 carry on Heartstuck Casterlo Slayer, who I've been saying, guys, we must play Elise support. I'd like to make an apology to my coach, Coach Quacks. Yeah, bro, you know what? Maybe this pick is just not as good as it once was. I'm going to leave it to solo queue only. I'm never going to pick this thing in competitive. My bad, guys. I had a poor read. This is why we do not trust play-by-plays.
It's alright, don't worry about it. It's still interesting, right? It spiced this game up a little bit, but it definitely has not worked out. BFX, off the back of those 2 mid lane catches, are going to turn around and grab themselves the Atakan as well. They are in firm control of this game, up by about 5,000 gold at this point, so fully in control. It's now going to be 2.5, very close to 3 items for Diablo, but I gotta be honest, as much as I said earlier, Diablo MVP when he was down 0-2, right now, Kellen MVP. He has been absolutely popping off so far on this Nico.
Well, but that doesn't fit your narrative. You are correct. Kellen has had a very large impact. His Tangle Barbs, I think the Tangle Barbs have been the highlight of his play. I mean, he's had good Pop Blossoms, but he's had some really good Tangle Barbs. And, you know, when we're talking about the other impact ability as opposed to the big splashy ultimate that catches a lot of people, you know you're doing something right.
Absolutely. He's just been really solid so far in this game. Constantly annoying as well, throwing clones out, just blocking a lot of these key spells too. It's another reason why the Nico's so good.
Oh, my goodness.
Again chunked out.
Yeah, I mean, he's just down so many levels, right? Especially with that Otacon. There's a Pop Blossom. It's just on to Gideon, but that's all you need. Calyx is going to be next. Oh, my goodness. A flash from Diablo. He's just going crazy right now. Didn't get credit for that kill, but he damn well deserved it. Svikla looking for a bit of a flank here. Call the Forge God coming through his king and says, I will do everything I can to try to keep this game close. But he is stuck on an island right now. Vikla getting close, dropping the bear on his head. As he escapes with just a sliver, man. It's one of those games. BFX are running over Nongshim.
The only reason that isn't a Baron turn is because this is only 22 minutes into the game and there's no Baron to go to. It's just going to be some resets, extra gold for the BFX members. I guess the only saving light in that one is that Diablo did end up dying. He went a little bit too hard, too forwards. But this is part of the problem that I think teams run into whilst playing BFX. They are throwing everything in the kitchen sink and trying to kill Diablo to start every single one of these fights. And if he survives, you have just pulled yourself way too far forwards. And every single time that you do that, the remaining members still are able to turn around. Diablo's still absolutely pumping the damage right here. This is just him stepping 1-2 tick forwards. He's very close to being out of the tower range right there. Good knock-up from King in to at least trade it back for 1, but going to be tower, going to be 4 kills as well. And BFX are in firm control of this game.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how they lose this one, my friend. I think that they're just way too far ahead at this point. Corky is not going to take over the game. He has already hit his apex, and 2-2-1 ain't going to get the job done. Your Elise is forced to go Merc Treads just because of the sheer amount of magic damage that you're seeing. You're not going to have any damage there. Calyx is just dead. It's going to take a little while to kill him, but Raptor is luckily there to make it easier.
And this was the other problem that I had with this Nongshim composition was where was the damage, and we're really seeing it borne out. If everybody lands their damage onto Diablo, yeah, you can be able to kill him, but they do not have enough damage to rip through every single member unless a team fight goes absolutely perfectly, and we just haven't seen that yet. It's been really, really rough to watch so far, and you've just got to find these perfect little engages out of Nongshim, otherwise BFX, they're just going to be able to keep running this one on through. Right now, pushing through the bottom lane is Vigler. He should get responded to by a couple of people, but the rotation's pretty slow, actually.
Bloxer, what is the perfect engage here? Because BFX just has so much damage coming out of everybody, right? I mean, with all of these magic damage dealers on the side of BFX, Nongshim has had to go into MR, and, you know, that even means that Raptor, while he's now getting his second item completed, is going to be dealing a lot of damage. There's really not that much armor for him to have to get through. So what does a perfect Nongshim engage look like? What does a perfect team fight to them look like in order to get them back in the game?
Lehens flash cocoon onto Diablo, lands it,
Yep.
and then you need Gideon in that brings Kylix in with the ulti, that brings Kingan's ulti over the top. It's not this. This is not the perfect engage. Even if Raptor seems caught, he's chilling.
Raptor was on his own. Jiwoo was going to get targeted and dead. Call the Forge God finds too, but Lehens is running scared because he knows this fight is cooked. Triple kill, quadra kill. Oh, Lehens. God.
Oh, yeah. Every single time, I gotta say, of all the players I've ever watched play these kind of champions, and we've watched a lot of great ADCs this year. This has been the year, I think at least the split of the ADC for me in the LPL. I've never watched a player who I'm more thinking, is he gonna get a penta every single time? Raptor, okay, he's chilling.
Kellen had to use his rocket ball to get a little bit closer to make sure his AD carry and his jungler to top.
Lamau. Well, they're good at team fighting, maybe they're not so good at taking the Baron. Yeah, watching this one through, you were right to be a little bit worried for Raptor, but as you highlighted perfectly a couple minutes ago, he's way tankier than you're otherwise thinking, and this is just such a chill fight for Diablo, despite the fact he's literally in the middle. You usually want your ADC on the edges, firing.
Where he wants to be.
He's sat right in the middle. He does not care. He's got himself the shield bow up. He's chilling, and that's now going to be the Baron in BFX's back pockets. They're looking to end this game.
Damn, this guy has gone crazy. I mean, you said he was going to be the MVP by the end of the game. Well, at 10-3 and 8, I think you're actually right. You might be the new Godguo.
It's possible. It's possible. There's just something about this guy. I don't know. I am still feeling Kellen in this one. He has been really nice.
Calix!
Bro, you have to go in at some point.
Poor King is like, brother, please. Oh, he's already dead. And then the last time for Vikla to get their clear is going to go golden. This turret is going to fall, so it's going to stop putting in damage. Oh my god, he sold him up the river! He sold him up the river!
If that doesn't perfectly encapsulate this game, BFX, they're going to finish this first game off nice and quickly. It's going to be an under 30 minutes game. It's going to be on Jehu, Lehens, and Gideon to try to make this last a little bit longer. Final stand.
There's a final stand? Vikla's gone golden. Yeah, there is no final stand. They are firmly smacked down in their seats. BFX are not going to find the ace that they wanted because Lehens will once again prioritize his life, and therefore his very weak KDA as BFX lead the series 1-0.
What a game. I'll say it. What a stupid game that was. I had so much fun watching that. It feels like I'm back. I'm back down in Group Nirvana. I'm watching Thunder Talk play. I mean, what joy that was. What a game.
Yeah, that was a game. That was a game of League of Legends. I was very sad to see the Elise play go that way, but I mean, listen, whenever I get to watch Diablo play, I mean, like, this guy just continues to show up and show out, right? It's just fun to watch, and I mean, his team played around him really well, but I mean, this guy just in really difficult situations where you're like, hey, the average AD carry would be like, maybe I should get out of here. He just thrives in that. He just doesn't care. Yeah. And, like, the last fight, it's a good example, but you were already very far ahead, right? You don't really need to be afraid. I think of that earlier fight around the Dragon Pit where, you know, Kingen finds this big knock-up and Diablo gets caught in it, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to go back at the end of this tournament and find some screenshots of positions Diablo is in mid-team fight, because he's literally in and amongst everybody. And this is after he was sprinting it in the early game. He was getting absolutely torn to shreds over in the side lanes, constantly pushing a little bit too far forwards, being a little bit cocky, but that's what you are like when you're this kind of player, and you know the levels to which you can pop off. While we're watching these replays...
that's that fight.
Yeah.
This is the fight that I'm talking about.
So
How?
I
tried to do that,
dead.
I would have died instantly.
I understand. What I would like during these fights is don't look at Diablo, because he's so much fun, he really draws the eye. Try watch what Kellen's doing throughout all of these fights, because he has been incredibly effective. Obviously, he kicks this one up with a pop blossom, but every single fight, as you were saying, he's landing the tangle barbs, he's landing the pop blossoms.
There's another one.
He's so annoying the whole time. Every single time somebody's throwing out a straight line skill shot, like, I don't know, a cocoon, clone. You've hit the clone. Cool. Not doing any damage. He's so frustrating to try to play against. I think he would be my pick for MVP in this game.
Wow. Even after you staked your claim on the BFX AD carry.
I'm going to be happy either way. If it's someone else, I'll be sad.
Yeah, this is, the, you know, again, ethical MVPs. We talk about them a lot. Either one, I'm with you on that. I think Kellen, unfortunately, the shine of Diablo kind of took away from Kellen in this game, but he damn well deserves it. I think you are correct in that. We'll see who they give it to. Whatever it is, I just really hope it's not unanimous, because then that means I think we messed up.
Yeah, this has been a very even split of game, right? As much as we are talking about this bot lane and really highlighting them, I don't think it was badly played out of anybody. I think Clear had a much better Rumble performance in this game than he did in the previous one. He wasn't hitting any big crazy equalizers, but he was just constantly dealing the damage that he needed to. And Vikler, yeah, he had a couple iffy moments, but he was doing his job. There's only so flashy that you can be on an Annie pick. Yeah. This was everybody from BFX stepping up when they needed to and just finding a way to get a victory.
Clear was actually able to play the game this time, you know, compared to the last game where he was, like 0-3-1 at one point. I mean, they just went and they killed this poor man on repeat. And luckily, this game, that was not the case. There was no, I mean, there were opportunities, sure, but Nongshim were unable to make it happen. I mean, again, that goes back to the Elise being a little weak earlier. They weren't really able to pressure that Rumble early on, especially when Kellen showed up. I mean, and that was that, right? I think Kellen, yeah, the more and more I think about it, Kellen really would deserve an MVP this game for the sheer pressure that he put out and what he forced Nongshim to do and what he forced them not to do.
I mean, to be fair, there is a reason that coming into today, the Nico was like, what, 90% banned? 70% banned. There we go. 70% banned. Letting this champion through is kind of insane, and especially letting it through in game 1, right? We usually see it as a game 3. We're kind of getting pushed to the edges. We don't know what we're going to pull out, pick up.
Nice.
I think that is the correct decision. As much as it would have been very funny to have predicted when he's down 0-2 to have MVP for Diablo, Kellen absolutely deserved this one. This was a monster Nico performance.
Yeah, he did really have a great game, and you know, credit to him. It is kind of hard in a world of other roles to yeah, there we go, to get an MVP. 4 out of 5, exactly as we predicted. Blockster, this was a really good job done by the MVP voting committee. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna head to another break. When we return, BNK Fear X looking to put themselves in the finals of ASI. Nongshim looking to force a game 3. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, everybody. I really love that we're rifling through these games and these breaks, to be honest with you, Blockster. It's nice, especially because, you know, it is the sun's starting to peek out outside.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I got a 3-hour nap in. Actually, let's call it what it really was like 2.5 hours before hopping on. So, like, you know, anything that we could do to prevent a lot of downtime is always a positive for me. It always helps out, you know, and you know, this helps too. Not sponsored, but
That's fair. Hey,
you know,
I mean, this is very clearly them just trying to prep all the North Americans up for what's going to be a rough world schedule. I think that the IG T1 game's scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning my time, which means it's middle of the night for you guys. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. But hey, the games. I think
I saw that earlier too. I mean, you know, for people like us on the broadcast over in North America, you know, if we want to do it, we can. We've done it for a long time. But for the average fan, it's going to be tough unless you were really, really getting up early for work. I mean, even the day that I go into the office at my job once a day, or once a week, I should say. And my office day, I got to be in at 6 in the morning. I got to clock in at 6 in the morning. Even then, it's 5 a.m. when I get up. Like, I'm not even getting up at 4 a.m. And there's a lot of people who, you know, they start work at 9 in the morning. So, you know, you're able to maybe catch the tail end of Worlds. I must say, I've been always happy when I hop in my car and I don't even turn on the radio. I don't turn on the radio. I don't listen to Philadelphia Sports Talk. I don't listen to my music. I listen to the unofficial LPL English broadcast whenever I'm heading in. I listen to ASI whenever I'm heading in. It's always a great time, and it's going to be nice on Mondays when Worlds comes around. And I'll be listening to Worlds on my drive to work. But that's neither here nor there, as Nongshim are going to have to put in some work in order to knot up the series and finish their revenge tour. To be honest with you, they haven't even started the revenge tour, given the fact they're down 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, Nongshim really going to need to step up into this one, because this is a BNK Fearex on a roll. They have been incredibly impressive today. Even though their early games haven't been the strongest, I think that's possibly what's going to come back to bite them if they do make it through and they end up in their matchup versus D+. D+ can just take over a game at the very beginning and run it all the way through. But as long as they are not too far behind in the first couple of minutes, it feels like Fearex can just pull back so easily. So what can Nongshim do to get themselves ahead early and then hold on to that lead? I think personally, the Elise being banned because of Fearless is a good thing. I wasn't a massive fan of that one, and it didn't really bear out that well. I think when this team have looked best, they've played more through their mid lane. Calix on the Galio has been good on this champion, but that doesn't unlock him to be able to carry the team.
I mean, what's he supposed to do, man? They banned everything. They just threw every single ban at him.
They did.
Like, that's so rude, man. Like, that's so crazy rude. Like, I can't believe that they would do that. I mean, I understand why they wanted to win big time, but, you know, I guess that when Calix is one of the few bright spots that you really expect to carry, then I guess that makes sense, right? I think that Kingen, if you put him on carries, he'd do just fine, but, you know, then you don't get that engage out of the top side, right? And, you know, and then you're forcing Lehen's on engage again. Like, Lehen's struggled most of the year. Him and Jiwoo have not really had great years outside of LCK Cup. You know, it was Nongshim peaked really early in the year. You think of teams that we have over here like Thunder Talk and like NIP, who peaked really early on. That's kind of been the same story that Nongshim have had. I mean, they had a really difficult stretch when they were playing against all the great LCK teams. They went 2-22, I think. Might have been 2-24. I don't remember the exact number. 2-24 in Legend Group. Gen G, HLE, T1, and KT played them all in best of threes. 12 best of threes. They went 2-24. You want to know? I know how bad doing that something like that is. I do. Back in the day, I'm an old head. I'm 30 years old. I played game battles on the Xbox. For those who do not know, it was a website. It was early esports, essentially. It was a website where you could team up with your friends that you pub stomp people with in Call of Duty and go play in actual matches. And there was a ladder and everything. And if you got to a certain point of the ladder, you'd get money and stuff like that. We played 39 games blocks, or we went 3-36. We were pub stompers and we stunk. And you know how bad it was? We were like, guys, we cannot do this again. We're going to all forget that this ever happened. These guys are professional players. They can't just forget that ever happened.
No, this is on your record forever. And it's got to weigh a little bit heavy, right? Especially at this moment when you're facing off against a BFX squad that you've come face to face with a lot, and most recently knocked you out of any hope of qualifying for Worlds, for getting to that final dance where maybe they could have made it all the way through, right? This has got to feel real rough, and to be on the ropes right now already, that's quite a tough situation to be put into. They decide to go towards the Talia as the first pick. Again, something that Calix has been very comfortable on, but also that he can carry on. Yes, I'm very happy to see this one. I'm now very much wondering what it is that Vikla's going to decide to play, because he's had basically every single one of his champions taken away by his team in this game.
We're going to see Smolder come through here, so you know, we need a little bit of early punch here for Nongshim, or else we're just going to sit back and relax. I like this Alistar pick. It's not great into Trundle because of the ultimate. However, if you are just trying to play keep away and buy some time for your team to be able to front to back, I think that there are applications here, Bloxer.
Absolutely, and you don't really think of Vikla as a particularly, oh, he's going to take away the Silas in this game, and now we can't play this composition out. That's not really Vikla's bag. He's very much been about these more control mages in the mid lane, has not been playing too impressively for the majority as well. Is just going to go towards the Ahri. Yep, something a little bit more within his wheelhouse. It worked perfectly well into this Talia. Can follow the roams quite quickly too, so this could be something fun. And I think also you've got to think about just how good the Trundle is at early ganking. You pair that up alongside a roaming Ahri, and you can make these side lane plays work very effectively.
Yeah, they're really going to have to attack Jiwoo this game to set him behind early and make life really hard on the Smolder. Make it so he's not able to stack effectively, that you're going to have to wait, you know, a long time, maybe 25 minutes before he finally gets those stacks. Make sure he doesn't have the gold to have these items to really take advantage of those stacks. Second half of bans coming through. We're seeing a Caitlyn ban come out, a champion that, you know, has been picked sometimes, but not really seen as, you know, whenever I want to play Caitlyn, it's always a great time. I like Caitlyn as a champion. Whenever I have to play against Caitlyn, I absolutely hate everything in the world. So if I was Nongshim, I would also want to ban that one too.
Makes a lot of sense, and the Rakan as well going to go off of the board, something that Kellen has really liked to grab for himself. So are we going to get that ADC counter pick coming through that we've seen relatively often, or is it going to be something a little bit different? In terms of things that he really likes to play, the Kai'Sa is something that we've seen a lot of Diable play for, and that has looked really good, although I think you are in a sort of play composition where you can have a bit more of a chill time if you want to sit back on something like the Jinx on the Jhin. Although
Kai'Sa, though.
Yeah, you could, or the Zeri. That was going to be the other thing to say. The Zeri is the sort of champion where you scale super well, but also you can get aggressive a little bit earlier on, and we've seen it as something that Diable absolutely loves. It's very much his kind of champion.
Gonna try to go ban for ban with Jiwoo here, unless that's a Smolder top. Who knows? I have my doubts, but that would be fun. That would mean that Nongshim is might be waving the white flag, though. To be honest with you, but who knows? We might see Smolder in the top side regardless. With the advent of lane swaps, Vladimir is going to be the lock-in. Okay. I have not seen a Vlad played professionally since Flandra did it earlier in the year. I think he did it as an Aurora counter early on in the top lane, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like, it's been a really long time since I've seen a Vladimir at this
That was
level,
lane swap split. Like, even.
Yeah, like, it was a while ago, and they're gonna grab themselves
what
the Kiana
okay,
too.
what are we doing?
What are we doing? I can answer that question,
work.
Yanni. I can answer that question. Nongshim are throwing everything that they have left at the dartboard because this is them done for a while. Like we've been saying, right? You get knocked out here, you're done pretty much for the entirety of the rest of the year. And so, hey, throw what you've got remaining out. It is going to be the Lulu to round things out. Kellen, more of an engaged support player than an enchanter player, but his Lulu has still been fine, and it works really well in this composition. BFX, I would say they have a composition, and Nongshim are throwing dartboards at a wall.
They're throwing the full dartboard. They're not even throwing the darts. They're throwing the full dartboard. They're like, we don't care anymore. We're throwing everything out the window. Man, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think Lulu is phenomenal here, too. I mean, this champion is just inherently super good, right? I mean, it is so good, just in general. But against this particular Nongshim team, when you can go and buff up your Zeri, I mean, why wouldn't you just slam it here? This is an 80 carries dream. And honestly, if you're a support player, you know, not having to make a lot of big ticket decisions is also good. You saw the coaching staff leave the room. This room looks uncanny. There's nothing on the walls.
Are they
it's just
playing
white.
In the back rooms?
They might be playing in the back rooms.
Like,
They do. Dude, where's the almond water at? Did they have it anywhere? They're going to be in trouble. I'm up to date on my backrooms lore. I'm a backrooms enjoyer for sure. As we'll see if Nongshim are able to escape the backrooms with this composition, with the way things have been lately. Not sure if they're going to be able to find their way out, Bloxer.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a very strong BFX roster on a roll. And Nongshim that hasn't really been able to put the right foot forwards quite yet. Still, I like the fact that they've got Calyx on something he can carry on. I like the fact that Gideon as well has got something aggressive. The Kiana's been really strong. Yeah, it's not the full strength Kiana that we saw, but it hasn't been completely gutted. This tournament isn't played on full life patch.
Where's Godguo? Oh, Jesus, what's going on? All right, well, Ju already half HP. Sorry. Yeah, where's Godguo? Godless Guo. Where is he?
He's abandoned us.
God has abandoned us, but we will enjoy it. I think that's what Nongshim is feeling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, for BFX, a date with D+ may feel a little bit similar too. Still, they are on the verge of making what could have been a 6-game day for them into a potential 4-game day. Very impressive look so far. We'll track through where these junglers are going to be starting and also where the ADCs are. Once again, Nongshim, they are going to go for this little bit of a roam around. They're going to put Ju up into the top lane. I do like that for them in this combo.
Yeah, this is going to benefit Nongshim pretty well early on, provided that Nongshim doesn't actually just, like, somehow lose this 2v2. I mean, like, you're not going to win the 2v2, right? But, like, you just need to not die, and you'll be okay. And, Lehen's not really doing the greatest job of that. Didn't do it in the first game, and is certainly not doing it here to start off in the second game.
Nope. At this point, it's just huge chunks of damage already coming out of the health bars of the Nongshim members. What we need to see, really, is that you're able to just survive early on as Jehu, able to keep things going along enough. You have got your jungler starting on the right side of the map.
I like that.
Already getting chunked down. I love this.
Yeah, delay the Alistar a little bit.
Yeah, he's still not able to go back.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, Kingen is alone, but they're just going to go in between waves here. And Lehen's has to back again. This is really nice job here by Kellen using help picks plus the glitter lance to just force Lehen's to keep backing up. No greedy recalls.
Yeah, and this is the reason that I think we both really were happy to see this Lulu be locked in. It's an amazing defensive tool, of course, right? The wild growth is excellent to just help survive, keep someone alive that has gone a little bit too far in. But also, this champion deals a ridiculous amount of damage early on and could just be so annoying to try to lane into.
I think the really worrisome thing is take a look at Lehen's experience bar. There is none. He is true level 1 with 0 experience. This means that for some of these early fights, he's going to be behind the curve. And an Alistar who's not going to have level 6 for one of these major fights later on is going to be a big deal.
Absolutely, and just pushing people behind as well. It's got to feel good for BFX. They have had themselves such a nice day already that already getting yourself into a dominant position, not having to fight from a deficit as they have had to do quite often.
Are we diving?
I think they are.
Okay. Yeah, we're going for it. King going to get Polymorph Fury, flashes away. Kellen taking 2 shots and surviving. And Kingen is down. It's first blood going over to guess who? Diablo.
Really well executed dive there as well. Kellen starts it off with the polymorph, so there's absolutely nothing that you can do as Kingen, and then just tanks up as many tower shots as he can. Incredibly well executed. Clean dive there from the BFX squad. And now Gideon as well, going to get forced away from this Scuttle Crab. Isn't going to be able to grab that double Scuttle either. And like you said, the gold going to Diablo is exactly what you would have wanted.
It just feels like it's just how the matchup goes, as a wise AD carry player would say. It just feels like it's a scheduled loss for Nongshim, right? I hate to say it this early, but it just feels like there's no fight here. There's no willingness to try and go and get revenge on these guys who ended your season early. You had a chance to at least go and potentially fight for Worlds. You knew that it was probably going to be unlikely, but I mean, you go in and, you know, you are the best team coming out of the worst team coming out of the Legend group, right? But, you know, presumably better than these Rise teams of D+, Kia, BNK, Furex, and OK Brion, right? But you come in here, you win against Brion, you go 3-2, then you get skunked by BNK, and then you get 3-0'd by D+ Kia. Like, that's how they derailed your season. You could have been playing more League that actually meant something.
Yes.
And now you have a chance to go and right your wrongs and feel better about yourselves and go and beat these guys and you just you play this comp. I don't know. I would care more about this if I were them.
It just feels unfortunate. I mean, you get to at least walk away and say, hey, hang on, Calyx might get caught out right here. No,
he gets to walk away and just say, hey.
Okay. Okay, good, good. You at least get to say at the end of this, we are better, we're all better than any of the LPL teams. We are better than them. And the APAC teams, obviously, but people were less surprised about that one. But being the worst...
All right, here we go. They're going to at least try to make a play down here, and it looks like it's going to be successful. Kellen is going to fall Calyx on this Talia that he's so good at making his first play.
No flash there onto Kellen meant that was pretty much a guaranteed play. Well done from Longshim to be able to get themselves down into that lane. Use that extra roaming power that you've got on Calyx to really just move around the map, stress onto the BFX members to make sure they've constantly got their vision up, constantly know where their opponents are at. All of that is happening though. Raptor is going to be able to take down this initial Drake. It's going to be an Infernal Drake. Again, another one that you like to grab early on as an individual. A little bit of extra on your damage is always going to be nice. And this early game, yeah, it starts off well for BFX, but Longshim, they're able to pull it back just a little bit. I think the thing that worries me just a tad here for BFX is the fact that it actually has been a very chill early laning phase for Jiwoo. He's been able to farm up slowly but surely, you know, hasn't got a massive lead or anything, but wasn't put under any threat because of that lane swap.
Well, you also have the same for Diablo on the other side, right? I mean, we talked about how this champion, this area does have a little bit more impact early on. Obviously, Jiwoo, you know, Mom can come through and really do a lot as Diablo used his barrier there to avoid most of the damage on the turret shot. But see, he's going after Kellen here. I really liked this play as Diablo's out of mana and Jiwoo was winning the 2v1. Perhaps I spoke too soon.
Yeah, he seems to be chilling right now, although we say that at the moment
party's
in which
over.
We pan over to see everybody on their way down.
Mom comes through, 1 minion left, but Jiwoo dodges out. No, he got caught there, but they're not able to finish him off.
No!
And he killed Diablo. Oh, wait, hold on, Kingen. He's going to heal up a little bit up here. Clear. It's a little low on mana. Here comes Gideon to try to get his buddy out of there. Now he's going to go after Clear. Clear had already flashed and got caught. And Nongshim, wait a minute, they might have some fight left in them.
There we go, that's not anywhere near as well executed of a dive from BFX, and unfortunately in the top side, Clear flashes along the wall. You have to flash away from the wolves while still going back towards your tower to get out alive. Nope, is just going to get caught by that supreme display of talent, and that's going to be a couple kills going on over, and look where the kill gold is. You've got a kill onto that Vladimir, and 2 kills into the back pocket of this Smolder.
And now these grubs are going to be able to be taken by Nongshim. That could be very valuable as the charm will go on to Jiwoo. Vikla doesn't really have anywhere to go. There will be 1 grub going the way of Nongshim, but BFX shows up and elects to take it away. And it's very good for BFX. You know, the Trundle will be able to make great usage out of these grubs as Vikla's getting chased down by Lehens. He's going to charm Lehens, get out of vision. So headbutt pulverize. He doesn't have ignite. He might be able to stun Vikla. 1 more auto. Vikla flashes away, and Lehens forced to burn his heal.
Ooh, pretty close to that being another potential kill going back over to the side you're not really trying to make happen. Alright, though. He is able to walk this one away. No heal, no flash onto Lehens right now. Although, of course, does still have the spellbook, so we'll see what he's going to grab for himself next. We haven't really got to see any proper team fights yet. The early Drake was sort of just taken. The early Grubs was just a little bit traded back and forth. Nothing too much happening there. Jiwoo getting flanked here.
Okay, yeah, Jiwoo was in big trouble. Mom going to come through, heal him up a little bit. Vikla's got to get close. He face planted.
Oof, that's a little bit unfortunate right there. Not exactly what we were hoping.
That's Vic LTA right there. I know he was an
Mm.
LCS at the time, but
It's a better joke.
it
if
still
it's
counts.
LTA.
It still counts.
Hey, so the LTA's got to be better for something, right?
No, actually no.
No, that's fair. No, absolutely not.
No, we don't. This is the last time we're going to ever mention the LTA.
Oh, what joy that is going to be. Alrighty, looking back into this game, it is going to be a little bit of an engage actually from the Hens onto Vikla. No flash,
Once
no
again.
ulti.
Oh, he's dead. Galax is showing up saying, hey, we are going to kill this guy. Galax once again making a play, and Nongshim are rolling over BFX right now early on.
Yeah, I mean, early,
must have heard
this
me.
game has been great. And yeah, we were like, oh, this game's done and dusted. You've already gotten a kill over to Diablo. Who cares? This one's probably going to be a nice 2-0. Now, that could still be the case. We've spoken multiple times about how BFX are pretty bad when it comes to their early map rotations, get caught out quite a lot. And then at some point, 15 to 22 minutes into the game, Diablo really just turns it back on. You find a couple big engages from Killen, potentially, from Raptor, and things can just all of a sudden explode into their favor.
All right, he's already used his pool. Diablo is on the way here. Jet Set radios over the wall.
Goodbye.
And Raptor's going to get the kill. It is a clean dive for BFX.
Really well executed there. Again, so Kingan has kind of been the weak link, the member that you can try to dive onto and get things going on through. It is going to be traded back with this tower down in the bottom side of the map, and that one is going to keep things, I think, yeah, over to Nongshim for those feats, so the extra boots are going to be available to them. That could be useful, you know, a little bit of extra magic resist potentially could be nice.
Dragon going to go over here to Nongshim. Doesn't look like we'll see any contest because everybody's coming out of base, so they will split the Dragons at one apiece as... with the lead that they've built, we appear to be in the Smolder waiting room. He's just got over, no, he's still at 99 stacks. I thought he was going to be at 100 there. Oh, yeah, no, he's at 103. Okay. It was a bit of a late delay on updating the stacks. So 103 stacks right now, just before 12 minutes is not the worst place to be. And maybe we'll start to see some chickens given over to him.
Yeah, potentially. You really do want to get this Smolder stacked up and online as quickly as possible. It's going to be a big win condition, although still, the rest of the Nongshim comp has been working out for them decently well. There's Kiana as well, going to be critical. Once you're trying to play around these fights in these smaller choke points about these objectives, that's where this Kiana can just pop off. The supreme display of talent, so frustrating to try to play against, and if you get a big one off onto multiple members, that can be huge.
Yeah, that is a fight warping, a game warping ultimate when it's good. Well, we'll see if Gideon's going to have any of those. He's 1-0-1. He's got his Profane Hydra. You know, he's going to have quite a bit of damage. And he's up quite a bit of camps on Raptor as well, who, you know, has made a couple of plays, but overall has not been, you know, chopping everything up like you'd expect a Trundle to do.
Yeah, and the early ganks haven't been anywhere near as effective either. A couple dives that have been nice, and that is good. But still, Trundle, I think, one of the most effective gankers in the game, especially when you can pair it up alongside an Ahri for an extra charm. You've got plenty of CC in all of these lanes as well, so you could have gone to them, tried to get something going. Instead, just be more interested in trying to stay even in terms of farm. It is a pretty tricky thing to do. The Kiana can just rip through the jungle, as we have seen. But now, with that Trinity Force completed, is going to be in a nice spot if you can find a member to hit onto. You also talked about how that ulti can be very useful, taking away any of those tanky stats from the Hens. Mid-team fight can be great.
Minute and 30 seconds, a little bit less until the Herald is up as we're going to go target out Calyx here. A nice flash there on the charm. Vikla's going to take another turret shot, but they manage to make the dive happen. Flashes away, but Gideon shows up and is going to turn this one right around on a BFX. Raptor has nowhere to go except back to his base. It is a double kill for Gideon. Clear is just going to be farm stacks for Jiwoo here, as he's going to get more and more and more every time he hits him with abilities.
Oh my. I mean, how many has he gotten off of this? Just one kill as well. The actually kill gold itself is going to go over to Kingan, so maybe that's not quite the ideal. Still, that's now going to be 2 kills onto the Vladimir, 3 onto this Kiana, and this game is going incredibly well here for Nongshim.
And the worst part, and something we didn't talk about, is that how are you going to get to Jiwoo? You don't have any targeted CC for him, not like a Nautilus or anything, you know. I figured that, hey, well, Vikla will be strong enough that he'll be able to just dash to the backside. He can charm Jiwoo, and it's not going to be a problem. Well, we've seen a lot of problems every time Vikla's tried to make a play. It's generally not come without punishment.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, this is always going to be a little bit tough, right? You're playing into the Talia, who can roam across the map a little bit faster, can also just put down that Unraveled Earth and stop a lot of those dashes from coming on through. It's tough to play out. That being said, though, just constantly getting followed around the map is something you can avoid through just better macro play, but that is something BFX have struggled with, right? This is a young roster.
Herald started up. Lehen's getting beat up by Raptor. He's going to head over to Diablo and pop his ultimate, trying to get away. Mom coming through, doing a little bit of damage. Here comes Vladimir looking for Diablo. Here comes Calyx as well. Raptor forced away, clear with the big ultimate. King healing up, but he's still upright. Diablo gets his kill. Here comes Mikla. They're looking for the big turn, and here it is. Their time to shine. Diablo able to walk away, trying to dodge out on the rocks, and BFX find their fight. Their 80 carry, their stud, finds his triple.
There we go, and the charm gonna land as well.
That's an ace!
Okay, and this is what we were saying, Yanni. This is what we were highlighting. This team, as long as they're not down by 27,000 gold and every objective under the sun at 15 minutes, they can just find that fight, and they do it again. This team are never down and out. You cannot count them as put away until the Nexus explodes. And this play, it's just so well executed from BFX, and it's overextension from Longshim. They are just pushing way too far forwards, and they're so split. One by one, they walk on in, and nobody's able to actually catch onto any of the key members.
Diablo properly waiting, killing Lehens as he gets close to him, and now over on the side, Calyx is like, oh, where do I go? Do I ignore the 80 carry? And Diablo, aggressive flash forward when Calyx had looked him off. That's how he's able to live on such little HP. Absolutely ridiculous. They cannot keep getting away with this, Bloxer.
Apparently they can, Yanni. Apparently they just do keep getting away with this. It's going to be really interesting to see if BFX do go on, if they're actually able to pick up a win here versus D+, because D+ have also had their number the entirety of this year. It's been a rough time for them, so hey, can they? Maybe. It would be very exciting to see. BFX, they're also going to turn around and grab themselves their second Drake of the game. Hextech Soul is on the way. A great Soul to be able to grab, especially on a Zeri. Zeri with Hextech Soul is just so oppressive.
Couple of ultimates on the side of BFX burnt, and that means the Dragon is theirs, and things looking mighty fine now. A 1,400 gold lead in the bot lane for the 80 carry. 700 overall, we'll call it, as Herald is going to come in and get a crash and take that mid turret as well. There'll just be more gold going over to BFX. So Raptor going to claim that one, and now he's on gold parity. 3-1-4. Remember, he had a bit of a slower game, and while he's still down in camps, the gold department is even.
Yeah, he's been able to just keep up, and he had a critical pillar during that team fight that locked Lehens in and made it so that team fight was totally winnable for BFX, and his teammates managed to capitalize upon that. If he's able to keep this one up, Raptor is on for a very nice game indeed. Also, that's now going to be 2 items completed for Diablo. He's going to start working on getting that eye edge into his back pocket, and at that point, I mean, what a rough time it is going to be to try to deal with this guy.
Oh, Gideon takes a big chunk there, and he's going to go in. Double stun coming through. Don't tell me. All right, he does this. No, he dies. Did Raptor killed him with red buff?
It must have been, right? The last little
I didn't even know that
extra
Raptor
picks.
actually tagged him with anything that was red, that was applied to the red buff.
He
All
must have
right.
weaved one auto attack
He got it.
there. Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine taking the portal, going in, throwing everything you have, burning your flash, and still dying. Tough. Just feels like things maybe have gotten away.
What is he doing?
He is caught. The rest of his team is out there to save him. Oh,
Is he?
He got the Lulu ultimate. He's just that crazy. He knew his team was going to show up. An active in play turns into a not in because his team saves the day. He gets another triple kill, man. What more can you say about this kid? He does not care. He is the honey badger of the LCK.
This kid is insane. Rookie of the split for a reason. Rookie of the year for a reason. And he is popping off right here on the international stage. just such an impressive player to watch. If you are like me and you watched a lot of the LPL this split, but, you know, only tuned into some of the bigger matches for the LCK, weren't able to tune into everything that they had going on, then you didn't know so much about this guy. Well, I hope that you're learning his name, because boy is he going to be fun to watch for the next few years.
This guy is putting on a show here at ASI. 7-1-2. Let's take a look at this replay. God, they're like, hey, we have him. This guy, I don't know, what's their AD carry doing? He's dead on my screen. He's dead on my screen. Guy, wait, hold on. I'm dead on my screen.
Yep. And we've got to keep giving so much credit to Kellen. Hang on, team fight.
Hang on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. Look, avert your eyes. Look away if you're a Nongshim fan. Vikla coming through, trying to finish him off, but he can't. But he finds the charm. Jiwoo forced to flash away, but you can't escape Raptor. He flashes the wall. He takes a bite out of crime, and he finds himself a double kill. Now he's got to escape Kingen, though. Turret shots,
He's so
not enough to
fast.
actually kill him.
He's rolling right there.
Godguo knows.
Godguo
He's
knows.
firmly.
Godguo.
It's not even close. He's on that wall. He said, wall to wall, BFX in 2.
Hell yeah, he knows what's up. We missed the start of this fight, so let's have a look back at what began it. Good flash timing right there out of Dabble. Man has the faster fingers as well, then straight over the wall. The second that initial engage misses, I think everybody here watching knows exactly what's about to happen. This man doesn't know the meaning of going back, of letting a fight happen to him. Nah, steps forwards. But still, Raptor, again, we were highlighting him earlier. What an impressive game he's been able to have on this Trundle 2. Quiet during the early game, but the second that 15 minutes hit, both him and Diablo just came alive.
These damn Zoomers, man. Diablo is just going crazy. But yeah, Raptor certainly having a game for himself. Having getting a little bit of shine in that last fight as well. And now they're going to try to target out Calyx here. He's been slowed up, caught with another charm. Vikla was missing so many of them earlier, but it feels like he's locked on. Drew 11, get on this man. It might be a problem. Check him PC.
Mid game turning on your aimbot would be crazy.
He's toggling.
What's more likely is that Vikla, hey, he's feeling himself. The rest of the team coming alive too. That's actually going to be the Bloodthirster completed, not the Eye-Edge as the next pickup for Diablo. He wants to be able to survive in and amongst all of the members of Nongshim for even longer. And this game feels like it's almost as good as done. Nongshim, they're going to have to find a bit of a miracle to get back into this one.
A bit. They're going to need a large miracle.
Major miracle.
This is what we said what could potentially be a problem, right? You know, Smolder at this point in time is fully stacked. It's 22.5 minutes. But look at his items. He's got 2 items. He was able to get a couple of kills early. He was able to, you know, pick up an assist. The CS is fine. But again, we were wondering, like, oh, is there going to come a point in time where he's on 2 items, and then you take a look, and you look at the other side and say, uh-oh, Diablo's got 4K gold lead again. And that's exactly what happened.
Every single time. It feels like you cannot put this man far enough into a hole ever.
Vikla?
Vikla, you might be able to put into a hole.
Okay, yeah, Vic. Oh, wait. Is he alive?
Never mind.
Oh my God,
Wait.
He got the speed up from the Foxfire, and now Nongshim is dead. This is unfortunate for them. Yeah. Kellen doing what he can. Oh my God, it's just a 1v1. It's like, get him, Kellen. Get him. Run him down, Kellen. You better get this kill, Kellen. Okay. Raptors.
There we go. Still, it's going to be the kill. It's going to be 3 quick kills, and Vikla was able to get away. Every single thing that Nongshim are throwing at BFX, they are able to counter. And unfortunately, that's what happens when your stacked up Smolder is off. Farming red buff. Taking these jungle camps right here. Vikla is getting chased back into his own base right now by Kingen, but I don't think that's really going to be the end of the world, because look at what the push is happening in the top lane. There's a decent shove in the mid lane too. Not going to be the base cracked open at this point, Yanni. You know, there's still a chance for Nongshim.
I mean, they do have good scaling. We have talked about that. They do have it. It's there. I just don't know if they're actually going to get it. Kingen's going to die again. It's only his 3rd death. Okay, his 4th death. I'm sorry. I see the delay on, the feed. A little delayed. My eyes, I'm old. You know, it happens.
Ooh.
Heck, I couldn't remember that Trundle existed a couple of fights ago. You know, this is what happens when you get old blocks. Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. What I can see very clearly in 4K currently is the fact that Diablo has completed the 4th item, and that is going to be the Eye-Edge that I thought was going to come a little bit earlier on. So he's going to be healing. He's going to be hitting like a truck. I think the next person to walk into this brush might be dead.
The next person on Nongshim specifically. Because I think
Yes.
if BFX walk into that, it's totally fine. Baron up in 15 seconds. It's going to be time to put Grandpa to bed. It's me. I'm Grandpa. I want to go to sleep after this one. Come on. It's time, BFX. Like, listen, this is a 10K gold lead. I'm going to call it like it is, man. Calyx, all right, he's up against the wall, and he's got nowhere to go. He flashes over to Gideon, actually. He did have one place to go. It's not productive, but he did have somewhere to go.
Yeah, he's at least not dead. Can potentially get back to base. Has the teleport available if they want to go and try to...
Oh, Kingan walking forward. Hold on. We throw everything at Diablo, and he still lives somehow, man. But this time it's Vikla getting the shine. Triple kill. The quarter kill got stolen. We could have seen a potential penta, but Clear said, hey, listen, I wanna get a kill, man. 1, 2, and 13. Listen, he's your scion. He deserved it. Let him get it. As
I think the Raptor wins this fight.
Yeah. Hold on. Supreme display of talent.
Okay.
Good pillar slows him up. It's a very, very angry Trundle. Oh, Gideon dashes over the wall, and he escapes.
Hey,
or does he? Oh no, the chase is on. The chase is on. Okay, Raptor. Where is Gideon?
The observers know that we don't care about
Hold
the game.
Hold on, no. Wait. What are we doing? Hey, he's found him. He found him. Is he actually gonna kill him? Can we go back to this? I want to see. I think he's gonna get him. Chomp him. He got him. There we go.
Hey.
Good job. Well done. Good job there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay. What a
2-0.
game. What a series.
2-0.
2-0 right here from BFX. I mean, they have been on a roll today. We talked a little bit at the top of the day, like, hey, does playing these 2 games back-to-back hurt you? Are you going to be a little bit tired by the end? Well, I guess if you make it a 4-game set, it's less than a best of 5 can go to. Absolutely chilling right here from BNK FearX. They are monsters, and I cannot wait to watch them play tomorrow versus D+.
That should be fun. I want to see a Diablo Legacy series, perhaps. I would really like to see something like that come through. A dominating win. Hey, Jiwoo did some really good damage in those fights. He had a lot of good AoE, chunking people out for a while. But, I mean, the game just kind of passed him by. It felt like so many times things were happening, and Jiwoo just isn't around to try to help, try to force BFX away. And ultimately, in a 26-minute game, BFX won. And this was a game that, you know, after the start that was so good for BNK FearX, Nongshim took a lead, and then we're like, hey, you know, Nongshim might be able to just ride this one out, take it home, and in the blink of an eye, like, this game just got way out of hand. It was that fight, that one fight that did it, that one ace up on the top side that just turned the game over, Bloxer.
And it's every time from BFX. They're down, they're getting pushed around. Oh my god, you managed to kill Diablo a couple of times. Everybody panic. No, don't panic. Just chill. I wouldn't be worried about this team until the Nexus literally explodes in front of your eyes. And even then, I feel like they could somehow come back from that one. This team are crazy at mounting a comeback. And it was this. We talked about how the pillar was critical. You see it right here. Lehens just gets caught for way too long. And then it's one by one. Lemmings off cliff right here. Just stepping up. Diablo is just going to be able to take them all out. And... It's such a rough situation to be in as Nongshim, because every time you get ahead, you just get pulled straight back down. It feels like BFX, they are excellent at just fighting in these scrappy situations.
And for Nongshim, a year that started out so well, that got progressively worse and worse and worse, ends with a whimper. They had a chance for a revenge tour to go beat the teams that beat up on them. You know, it was a golden opportunity to be able to do so, and in a tournament where, you know, obviously we've seen teams have some interesting picks, have certainly been in good spirits, rather than super serious mode. Again, you know, these are professional League of Legends players. They do have a lot of pride. You can see it in any solo queue game that people have pride when they play this game. And just knowing that, you know, it's another loss on your record, another loss to end of the year, the bad taste in the mouth. I'm sure that at least a couple of Nongshim members, definitely a lot of Nongshim fans, are going to feel that exact way, Bloxer. And for BNK FearX, it's their time, baby. Let's go. They can go and get it done.
And this tournament, as much as we keep saying it's for fun, there's a lot of pride in a lot of these teams, as you've said. There's also some money on the line. There's some decent prize pool money coming through for the winners of this tournament too, so you really do want to be winning this one. To get into the finals is going to be huge. To get another shot up against D+ is going to be massive as well, and this is a D+ that have looked so strong. They were able to get out of their group, not top of their group, they did lose to Weibo, so they were second, but once they got themselves into the playoffs, they've just been able to completely roll through. I'm not surprised that Diable's going to pick himself up a player of the game right here. He has been an absolute monster so far. If you don't care about D+ and you don't care about BFX, you should care about this man. This is a name that people should start learning now before he's all over our screens at internationals in the next couple years.
And I'm super excited for that moment, Bloxer. BNK FearX, they were knocked out of the season playoffs in the LCK by D+ Kia, 3-1. Now they will get one more best of 5 against that team to try and right their wrongs. That will do it for us here today. But before we go, we're going to give a big shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mung, Forest Without, and owners of a Silmaril, because their pledged financial contributions help level up the broadcast to give back to the cast and crew to strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. And there is one more day of English LPL product, even though it's 2 LCK teams tomorrow. 4 a.m. is our call time, I believe, for Eastern time. I don't know what time we're actually starting again. We're starting mad early mad late. I don't know, man. But tomorrow we have games. Show is live at 3:30 a.m. PST, so that's 6:30 a.m. EST. And if you're in a different time zone, whatever, you can figure it out yourself.
It's at like 11:30 in the morning over in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be Alk Battery and Mazel on the broadcast to take us out. That does it for us here today. Thank you all so much for watching. For myself, for Bloxer, for Alk Battery behind the scenes, and the entire LPL English family, we thank you all for being with us here today. We hope to see you tomorrow for some more ASI action.